your pain just won't go away, you should call Rejuvenex today.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Google reviews will tell you it's worth a try.
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano from Wisconsin's Morning News. It's baseball season, which means Brewers 360 is back every day at 8:40. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Every day, all season long, we're joined exclusively by Brewers guests, including manager Pat Murphy and more. So Murphy, as we're wrapping up our interview.
Great talking. We really enjoyed it. Okay.
I was like, you did? Is he just in a good mood, or what'd y'all do to Murph?
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting. We're sailing back to Pittsburgh and swiping all the booty when we get there.
Yelich taking off, Garcia not paying attention, and Yelich will steal third while the ball was still in the pitcher's hand.
The Brewers face off against the Pirates. Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, September 5th. Your top story, a child injured in a shooting in Sheboygan.
I'm Adam Roberts in for Jessica Ty. Back to the War Department.
Partly sunny, windy, and cool today, a high of 63 degrees. Those wind gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour. Mainly clear, breezy tonight, and a low of 47. 58 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, developing story in Sheboygan, multiple people injured in a morning shooting.
No conscious breathing at this time. A lot of confusion on scene. GSW to the arm.
That scanner audio from Broadcastify as Sheboygan police responded near South Business Drive and Wilson Avenue on the city's southwest side about 10 o'clock this morning. Flight for Life called to transport a 2-year-old child who'd appeared to be shot near the upper armpit. 2 others were injured. One suspect in custody. A gun has been recovered.
A day of protest at Milwaukee City Hall. Police hoping to settle negotiations on a contract with the city of Milwaukee. They have been working without one since 2022. Patty Jervings, the mother of Officer Peter Jerving, killed in the line of duty back in February of 2023. Speaking with WTMJ.
They're tired of risking their lives every single day and not being appreciated and not being paid what they're worth. You know, they risk their lives every time they put on the uniform.
Today is the deadline for the police union to receive a contract offer outside of arbitration.
A former Milwaukee cop is heading to prison for abusing his infant daughter.
A jury found 32-year-old Martinise McDaniel guilty on 2 felony counts of child abuse. A criminal complaint says McDaniel's girlfriend came home one day in January 2023 to find their 2-month-old daughter wasn't breathing. McDaniel told investigators he performed CPR on the child and shook her several times in a panic. But a pediatrician found injuries including bleeding on the brain, hemorrhaging, rib fractures, and bruising consistent with abuse. McDaniel will spend 6 years behind bars. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
President Donald Trump planning to sign an executive order to rebrand the Department of Defense as the Department of War. Now, the president cannot formally change the name without legislation, which his administration will request from Congress. In the meantime, the Pentagon will use secondary titles to go by its original name. The Department of War, created in 1789, then renamed to the Department of Defense in 1947.
Well, those who get health insurance through the Affordable Care Act could be paying higher premiums next year if Congress doesn't step in. News Nation's Trevor Shirley.
At the end of this year, COVID-era subsidies to the Affordable Care Act are set to expire. The Kaiser Family Foundation, which tracks healthcare data, predicts the average American using the public option, also known as Obamacare, will see their premiums spike as much as 75% next year.
Some Republicans seem open to extending the current subsidies or creating a new working deal. Some Democrats would like to have that all put to an upcoming spending bill aimed at averting a government shutdown.
News about your money now, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The latest jobs report is in, and the market's responding in kind by taking a dip today. The Dow down 244 points. That's a 0.5% at 45,377. The Nasdaq off 60 at 21,647, and the S&P 500 down 33 points this hour at 6,469. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. More details at annexwealth.com.
Good news, bad news for the Brewers bullpen. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:04. News sponsored by LE Mental Health. Visit lementalhealth.com.
The Mental Health Minute.
Adulthood, that magical time in life when just one drink turns into 3 and maybe a few questionable texts. When "I deserve this" becomes a nightly mantra and your coping skills include wine, doom scrolling, and stress cleaning the floorboards. I'm Megan, a therapist at Alley Mental Health, and we see you. Maybe your relationship with substances has gotten a little bit too cozy. Maybe it's starting to affect your sleep, your relationships, your job, or just your ability to remember where you left your keys. Substance use doesn't have to hit rock bottom to be worth talking about. Therapy can help you to unpack what's really going on underneath the habits, to build healthier coping skills, and to feel more in control of your life. If you're ready to stop surviving on caffeine, denial, and vibes alone, let's talk. At Ellie Mental Health, we've got your back.
This has been the Mental Health Minute. Get started on your mental health journey today at elliementalhealth.com.
This summer, your wishes take center stage at WishFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all summer for over $1 million in prizes and earn entries into the WishFest prize drawings on Friday, September 26th. Your entries from July, August, and September all count. Plus, 5 lucky winners will have their ultimate wish granted. Wish big, win big. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Paying you to live more comfortably. A deal you do not want to pass up. Vince Vetrano for USA Insulation. They will insulate your walls from the exterior. No disruption inside your home. Blow in loose fiberglass in the attic, plus air seal everything. Most homeowners feeling a difference within 24 to 48 hours. And with government rebates, you could save 40 to 60% or more. No work for you to do. USA Insulation will process everything. Visit usainsulation.net. Start saving today.
USA Insulation.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. After dropping 2 of 3 against the Phillies, the Brewers begin a 3-game series with the Pirates tonight in Pittsburgh with a beat-up bullpen. Brewers.com writer Adam McKelvey.
They just lost Shelby Miller, who was a really key pickup. They were really happy to get him at the trade deadline, not have to give up a player. He was going to be a key part of navigating these 7th, 8th, 9th innings the rest of the way. Trevor McGill is still working his way back. Now you lose another guy.
Yeah, the good news, bad news is McGill's last bullpen session went well. He'll try another one this weekend. The other guy is unknown at this point. Manager Pat Murphy referencing a reliever that will hit the injured list. We should know a little later today who that is. Meanwhile, Packers head coach Matt LaFleur ready to turn pass rusher Micah Parsons loose on Sunday against the Lions.
He's got an extremely high football IQ. I don't think he'll have any issues, so you're pretty specific with what you're going to ask him to do. I don't foresee that being a problem. I think he's got a high capacity and really smart guy.
Packers acquired Parsons in a trade with the Cowboys last week. And in the NFL this evening, it's the Chiefs and Chargers from Brazil.
Let's check the roads now. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. 43 south at Highland got the right shoulder blocked due to a crash. Actually looks like much of that work's been taken care of. Not impeding your drive at all as you work your way through. Just something to be aware of. It is a bit slow on 4145 as you'd expect south from Appleton Avenue all the way down to Capitol Drive. Then northbound from Highway 100 up towards Capitol as well is a bit slow. Also heads up Highway 175 as you work your way south towards the stadium. It's going to be single file through the left lane. Got some cones up. Look like some routine work over there right now. Once you get past Wisconsin Avenue, you do widen out. So once you get to the stadium, you'll be free and clear. Just a couple extra minutes south from the inner city down towards AmFam Field.
Cooler temperatures, very breezy conditions today. We top out at 63 degrees, wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Clear tonight, breezy, a low of 47. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cool on Saturday with a high of 63. Sunday, day 1 of the Packers' regular season against the Lions, mostly sunny and 65. It's 58 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Hope your Friday is going great. Adam in for Jessica. She'll be back next week, Tuesday. You drew the short straw, huh? You're stuck with me for a few hours.
I appreciate, love working with you, Greg.
Well, lots to get to here throughout the course of the day, including a conversation with Rob Domofsky as the Packers prepare for the regular season opener against the Lions. That'll be Sunday afternoon. Matt LaFleur just wrapping up his press conference. We'll get the latest from Green Bay with Rob at 12:35.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, the latest job report is out. The numbers slightly worse than expected.
22,000 jobs were added to the labor market in August. The latest Bureau of Labor Statistics report marks a slowdown in the pace of hiring, as July's figure for new jobs was close to 80,000. Unemployment ticked up slightly from 4.2 to 4.3%. That's worse than what analysts were expecting, and the highest unemployment rate since 2021. This is the first jobs report since President Trump fired the economist in charge of compiling the data last month. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
So what is the potential impact of the numbers? A persistently weak jobs report could give the Fed more incentive to consider lowering interest rates to stimulate economic activity. And looking ahead here to September 17th, we'll know their decision. The Fed widely expected to cut its target federal funds rate at its upcoming meeting. That again, September 17th.
The city of La Crosse filing a class action lawsuit against 3 fire truck manufacturers, including 2 headquartered here in Wisconsin. The 66-page document to my right here detailing accusations the companies conspired to limit the supply of fire trucks and drive up the price. These companies include Oshkosh Corporation, many people know, in the Fox Valley, as well as the Rev Group from Brookfield. Also enlisted is Rosenbauer from South Dakota. Suit claims they try to monopolize the industry around the Great Recession, this back in 2008. The city of La Crosse specifically said they've had to make do with their fleet they have right now because the prices are just too high. They're waiting until 2030 potentially to buy their next replacement. And in Chicago, an interesting nugget on this one. If you text WATCH right now to our stream 855-616-1620, you'll see the fire department in Chicago, according to the complaint, in January of 2025, threw a mock birthday party for one of their fire trucks, which was older than many firefighters actively on the Chicago FD force. 30 years old, this fire truck, a Mercedes from 1995. So the claim is that they just can't afford to buy new ones. Now, Oshkosh Corp and Rosenbauer America have both denied the allegations. Rev Group and the Manufacturers Association involved have not commented.
Well, number 3, the Packers begin the regular season on Sunday. Sunday's game should be fine. No matter where you live in the state, you should be able to see that game, but that may not be the case for every Packers game this season. All of a sudden, you've got markets in our state, 13 of them in total, different counties, assigned as home markets for the Vikings or Lions. This has prompted Republican Congressman Tony Weed and Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin to draft the Go Pack Go Act, the bipartisan bill aimed to ensure Wisconsinites are able to watch Packers games no matter where they reside in the state. So if you're a little close to that Minnesota border, the Vikings might be your home market. If you're close to Lake Michigan or maybe up toward the UP area, you might get the Lions as your home team, not Green Bay.
I can remember that happening at least once when I would go back up to my grandparents' cabin back in the day and try to turn the antenna to just get that right signal, and suddenly I'd be watching a Lions game when I thought I was getting the Packers.
Okay, so these are not all major counties in our state. I don't want to throw shade at any of these counties, just it's not as populated. But you're talking about 415,000 people still. That's a pretty good chunk of the population. If they want to watch the Packers, they may have to go somewhere else. It will not be a big deal for this weekend's game because the Packers and Lions play each other. So those in that Lions market are going to get the Green Bay game, plus it's $3.25. And the Vikings and Bears play on Monday Night Football. So you got a good opportunity to see them. But I did look ahead here. November 2nd, the Packers, Vikings, and Lions are all scheduled to play at the same time on the same network. That means certain counties in our state, you're going to either have the Vikings game or the Lions game.
Now, keep in mind also, because once you do get to those outlying stretches, there are a lot of Vikings and Lions fans, depending on where you are. I've seen plenty of Lions flags up in Forest and Florence County over the years.
Congressman Tony Weed and Tammy Baldwin authored the bill. Tony Weed's going to join us coming up at about 2:35. Stephen Portnoy from ABC joins us next. What a crazy 3 hours at a Senate Finance Committee hearing meeting involving RFK Jr. We'll go through it after this. Now at noon, sponsored by Flanders Home Entertainment. Check them out online at Flanders.com. It's sound advice at the best price. Just press play. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek here for Flanner's Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanner's has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanner's, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Stop by Flanner's in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Cool and breezy today, a high of 63 degrees, overnight low around 50. Tomorrow, going to be partly cloudy and breezy again, high of about 66 degrees. Sun should return on Sunday. Sunday looks really nice with a high of 65 and plenty of sun. It's 58 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:16. Well, kind of a wild day in Washington yesterday. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. at the center of a firestorm. One senator after another raising pressing questions over Kennedy's public health agenda. Here's a snapshot of what it sounded like yesterday.
I'm asking the questions, Mr. Kennedy. I'm asking the questions for Mr. Kennedy on behalf of parents and schools and teachers all over the United States of America who deserve so much better than your leadership. That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of that agency.
Yeah, 3 hours of that in a Senate Finance Committee hearing full of tension. We welcome at ABC Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, the clip I played, it was a clash between Kennedy and a Democratic senator. My question is, did criticism come from both sides of the aisle yesterday?
It did, not to the extent and with the tension that you heard there in that clip. But I will tell you, it was really surprising to a lot of observers that you had a number two Republican senators, both of them physicians, airing their concerns from colleagues and constituents about what RFK Jr. has been doing as the leader of HHS. Bill Cassidy of Louisiana said, quote, "I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine." RFK Jr. retorted, said, "You're wrong." John Barrasso of Wyoming, majority whip in the Senate, member of the leadership, quote, "I support vaccines. I'm a doctor. Vaccines work." So the idea that you had a couple of Republicans joining Democrats in airing skepticism, concern over what's going on at HHS and CDC and FDA was noteworthy. The hearing yesterday featured RFK Jr. defending last week's firing of CDC Director Susan Minares after less than a month on the job. Kennedy put it in the broader context of the idea that the CDC has been failing. How you blame someone who's only been in the job for 29 days, who was your pick, for past failures is a question that he didn't fully answer. But he said, quote, "We are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at the CDC." He said the agency misled the public through the pandemic, and I need to fire some of those people, he said, to make sure that doesn't happen again. So you had those tense exchanges with Democrats some of them seeking to just, maximize their time for political purposes, it seemed to me. But others were really trying to hammer home the point that there's a lot of concern in the country over what RFK Jr. is doing as the leader of the nation's most important health agency.
Stephen, we see with a lot of these committee hearings, they happen usually after a new administration puts in their guy or their gal for whatever the head department is. I wonder, does the person who's put in the hot seat of these ever come out winning in the public eye? Because oftentimes it feels like it's the body of the committee clashing over one person, and sometimes there can be some fumbles like we did see.
Well, look, in as much as there are, and if you see them that way, it's an element of accountability. The founders had it in mind that the people's elected representatives would ask questions of the president's senior aides who require cabinet members require Senate approval. And then the idea is that every year the Congress appropriates funds and has oversight responsibilities. So a lot of it may amount to political theater, but in as much as it is, it's meant to be an emblem of accountability, a check on behalf of the people so that these members of an administration who've been confirmed by the Senate understand that they do have to face the public and answer tough questions.
So now what, Stephen? Lawmakers have called for Kennedy to be fired. He's given no indication he's willing to step down. What happens next?
Well, what will happen, two key things will happen next. Later this month, the meeting of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, now handpicked by RFK Jr., is set to review the nation's recommendations on childhood vaccines. That's a high-stakes thing that's going to happen later this month. And Senator Cassidy, Republican of Louisiana, a doctor, said some days ago that he believes that panel should not meet as scheduled. He says if it does, given the turmoil at CDC, no one should take the recommendations seriously. What a stark statement from a Republican senator who voted, by the way, for RFK Jr.'s confirmation. A little bit of, I won't characterize it any more than he put it yesterday, but he said that he's concerned about how things are going. I won't say it's buyer's remorse, but I certainly did suggest it.
Well, it's interesting, right? I mean, because you did have these individuals who voted to confirm him on the Republican side of the aisle. How much of that was, yeah, this is the right person, no doubt, and how much of that was, we need to express loyalty toward President Trump because that's the guy he wants?
Well, it was so interesting, too, in as much as they were criticizing, inadvertently or indirectly what RFK Jr. has been doing, they were praising Trump. And they tried to get Kennedy to say, don't you agree, sir, that Operation Warp Speed was a brilliant thing? Don't you think that President Trump deserves the Nobel Prize for putting together the team that put together this mRNA vaccine so quickly? And Kennedy said, oh, of course. And yet, at the same time, Kennedy has been saying such things over the years as more people died from the vaccine than from COVID. Now, he seemed to suggest yesterday he didn't actually say that, but then admitted that he did. And so you have this back and forth. What does it really mean? What's the impact? That's really what's most important. So I mentioned that ACIP hearing that's supposed to, the committee meeting that's supposed to take place later this month that could affect the availability of vaccines, the ability for people to rely on their insurance to cover and pay for those vaccines. Already, we're seeing some conservatives say that they're disappointed that access to the COVID vaccine has been restricted from the FDA in its recommendations. Now it's harder to get the vaccines at CVS and Walgreens. You may need a doctor's prescription, and that makes it tougher. It may be tougher to afford it. And this is all these are concerns that are being raised by some Republicans because they, too, for example, are related to cancer victims and other people who were used to, over the last several years, getting the vaccine easily and for free or at low cost. And so then you have the idea that the CDC director, who has been fired, who said that she was asked to pre-approve the ACIP recommendations before they were made. Kennedy insisted to the panel yesterday he didn't tell her to do that. He basically called Susan Menares a liar a month after saying that she's the perfect pick for the CDC. And now you have the prospect of another nominee yet to be announced. You can imagine it'll be a highly scrutinized nomination for all the right reasons, because there's been this turmoil. It is extremely high stakes. You have states such as Florida now saying Never mind vaccine mandates of the last several decades, this idea that students should not go to school without receiving the shots. Take that off the table. All of a sudden, you have parents all across the country worrying about the health of their children and what exposure they might have to communicable diseases that through the 20th century, with modern marvels in medicine, we thought we had gotten over. Well, now doctors are saying, just you wait. And that's the concern. Last night, the president was asked whether he still supports RFK Jr., still has confidence in him. The president, this is most important, said RFK Jr. means well, that his ideas are sometimes a bit different, which I took to mean outside the medical mainstream, and sometimes we need different ideas. He says that a number of people around him in the MAGA movement support RFK Jr., and so he thinks he's doing a good job. That is, for the most part, what you need to know.
What a wild scene playing out over the course of about 3 hours yesterday in the nation's capital. Well documented by ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, have a great weekend. We'll check it again soon.
You bet.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. If you got an issue with your door or opener, no problem. Make a call to Geist and they will help you out. They've got incredible inventory and wonderful brands, CHI, LiftMaster, and more right there in their showroom. Showroom is located in Brookfield. I've been there, and I was pretty amazed at how many doors and openers they had in stock and ready to go. And if you need a quick turnaround time for your project, you want to get after it quickly, right? You call Geist, and they will help you out. Custom designs as well. They can help you with that, too. It's Geist. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, check them out online at geistdoors.com or stop by that showroom in Brookfield, just off Barker Road. Connect with Geist, the best in the business. Don't think twice. Call Geist and visit geistdoors.com.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home. Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Make your next family trip one for the history books at Old World, Wisconsin. Set against the natural beauty of the Kettle Moraine State Forest, you'll enter a one-of-a-kind place where the modern world fades away. Explore authentically restored homes, farms, stores, and workshops representing more than a century of Wisconsin history. Meet heritage farm animals, visit a one-room schoolhouse, lend a hand in the blacksmith shop, ride a high-wheel bicycle, and so much more. Travel through time and the stories of America's heartland. Get your tickets at oldworldwisconsin.wisconsinhistory.org.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, "I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house." Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzek households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP SmartSide siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. After what immigration police call their biggest ever raid, at least 450 workers at a Hyundai battery plant in Georgia are now under arrest. The agent in charge says most are Koreans. Protesters outside an immigration police office in Chicago. They, lawmakers, community leaders, are speaking out against the surge of federal agents in Chicago. Even another weekly, monthly jobs and unemployment report than last month's. Only 22,000 jobs added by employers in August. The unemployment rate ticking up to 4.3%. The head economist at the White House, Kevin Hassett, blames the data collection at the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
If you get the typical revision for August, which is about 60,000, then the jobs number would be about consistent with the other indicators that we're seeing.
New York joining several states making vaccines more available. Governor Kathy Hochul signing an executive order. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 12:31.
Well, some southeastern Wisconsin residents wondering how long it will take to receive federal aid following last month's historic flooding. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson tells WTMJ.
I was in Washington on the Hill just yesterday and had conversations with almost every member of the Wisconsin delegation and stressed to them the importance of having the federal government to do its part.
Governor Tony Evers requested a disaster declaration from President Trump last week. In recent years, Wisconsin has waited anywhere from 1 week to more than 1 month for previous administrations to declare a disaster.
Meanwhile, the Salvation Army is still in need of donations and volunteers for Southeast Wisconsin flood recovery efforts. Director of Emergency Disaster Services Benny Benedict on WTMJ's Point Taken says about 1,900 people still have uninhabitable homes.
I know there's about 50 of them still staying in a Red Cross shelter, and the numbers are actually growing because they can't take it anymore. This is not getting better for a lot of people.
Benedict indicates the next recovery challenges will include mold removal as well as appliance replacements and a lack of flood insurance.
Sheboygan firefighters' quick thinking helped get a fast-moving fire under control.
Sheboygan firefighters responded to the call Wednesday morning and found thick, heavy smoke pouring out of a home on the south side. A news release says Sheboygan firefighters quickly cut through the roof and opened the windows for the smoke to escape to make it safer for firefighters to see better and stop the fire from spreading. The 2 people who live in the home were not hurt. Damage from this fire is estimated at about $75,000. The cause of the house fire is still under investigation. Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. continues to face questioning over turmoil at the Centers for Disease Control. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee County health expert takes a look at the history of the organization.
From its origins fighting malaria in the 1940s to stopping polio and measles, the CDC has come a long way.
They promote healthy behaviors, train public health workers for the future, and respond to everything from foodborne outbreaks to global pandemics.
Milwaukee County Chief Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston says Wisconsin alone benefits from millions of dollars in CDC funding.
We're watching things like Lyme's disease, toxic air emissions, local projects across Wisconsin, from carbon monoxide alerts to private well water testing.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
World War II veterans honored at a Brewers game.
I was one of the few women in the shop, so we always had a good time, and the men, of course, were very kind.
Over 30 World War II veterans were honored at the Brewers' home game on Thursday.
It was nice. The fellows were all eager to teach you whatever you needed to know.
Feng Xiao Scholes was one of the original Rosie the Riveters. She tells WTMJ.
I was really surprised. This is really an honor.
This year marks the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Scholes is 99 years old. Elizabeth Linton and WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 1234.
Discover Proof Pizza at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. In the heart of Milwaukee's Theater District, this modern pizzeria delivers Neapolitan-style pies, a bold grill menu, and old-school hospitality in a sleek, art-inspired setting. Whether you're craving a quick lunch or a relaxed evening bite, Proof Pizza is your go-to downtown destination. Dine in, unwind, and savor flavor that hits just right. And here's a tip. If you mention Jen Latta, you'll receive 10% off your order. Learn more at stkatearts.com.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
A battle in court scheduled on President Trump's attempt to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook.
Eric Bilstad.
Overseas, Israeli officials say they've recovered the bodies of 2 people who had been taken hostage by Hamas.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
Northbound on 41. We've got some backups from Mayfair Road, pretty much all the way up towards Hampton.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur hoping to turn pass rusher Micah Parsons loose on Sunday, taking on the Lions.
He's got an extremely high football IQ. I don't think he'll have any issues, so you're pretty specific with what you're going to ask him to do. I don't foresee that being a problem. I think he's got a high capacity and really smart guy.
Packers acquired Parsons in a trade to the Cowboys about a week ago. NFL football tonight, the Chiefs take on the Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And the Brewers take on the Pirates tonight. It's game 1 of a 3-game series. Milwaukee dropping 2 of 3 against the first-place Phillies. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 5:40 on WTMJ.
Let's check those roads now. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. It's a bit of a slow crawl right now on 43 south from about Keefe down towards Fond du Lac Avenue. Had that earlier crash at Highland on the right shoulder. I'm not seeing this impacting any lanes at all, but people may be stopping by to take a quick glance, so that could be leading to our backups right now. About a few extra minutes on that stretch from about Hampton all the way down towards downtown. North and south 4145 between Appleton Avenue and about Watertown Plank Road, and various spots will be on and off the brakes through the construction zone. And that earlier slow spot on 175 towards the stadium has lightened up a bit. Still going to be crawling through in that left lane with the cones up from earlier work.
Breezy and cool today, maybe some peaks of sun, but a lot more clouds. A high of 63 degrees, wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Clear tonight, breezy low 47, 63 the high under partly cloudy skies on Saturday. Sunday looks like a winter, mostly sunny, a high of 65. Should be a great day for football. It's 59 and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:37. I did watch a little football last night. I watched the Eagles and Cowboys play, and then I did a couple of things around the house, getting the kids ready for bed. I come back, I was like, well, why aren't they playing anymore? They had like an hour delay because of a thunderstorm that had rolled through the area, so they cleared everybody out, brought everybody back in. So you had a little late-night football last night.
And the Lightning, not the only fireworks from the game, some action even beforehand. Jalen Carter getting tossed for spitting at Dak Prescott right after the coin toss.
Yeah, so it was a very chippy start to the NFL season. The Packers, of course, begin the regular season on Sunday at Lambeau Field. I presume Lambeau Field is where we find Rob Domofsky, ESPN Nation Packers reporter. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Greg, that's exactly right. Just got done with the media viewing portion of practice, and now we're waiting for practice to get over and talk to the guys one last time before Sunday.
It is kind of funny, right? You pivot out of training camp where you can watch pretty much everything play out in front of you to this part where you get like 20 minutes to sort of glean who's healthy and who's not. Let's start with that, Rob. Just from a health perspective, will the Packers be missing anybody of substance on Sunday?
Well, the biggest question marks are probably Nate Hobbs, the cornerback who they signed in free agency. He's back at practice this week and has been limited, but this is the first time that he's practiced since the injury, which was way back on July 31st. Now, it looks like he's moving well. He had knee surgery. He's back, but, do they hold him out another week just because this is the first time he's been back and he's had so much limited work? I'd say that's probably a question mark. Jaden Reed, the receivers, have been dealing with a foot injury. Now he's been limited this week, but he came back a little bit earlier, got some work in last week, so I think there's probably a better chance that he goes. And then, of course, all eyes on Micah Parsons, who, they keep calling limited and they keep saying has a back injury, but I'd be stunned if he doesn't play. I think there's a strong chance that he'll have some sort of role on Sunday. But those are the three guys that I would say that, you probably still have to look at.
Yeah, your boots on the ground, Rob. Can you alleviate Packers fans who may be clutching their hands a little bit and sweating over what Parsons will look like? How has he been out there, actually?
Yeah, we only get to see individual drills, as Greg said. It's a lot different than training camp where we watch everything. But I've never seen Micah Parsons up close before this week, but he sure looks like he's moving just fine to me. He talked to us yesterday, and he's super excited. He said he thinks he knows about 80% of the playbook, and he thinks he could handle more. He equated it to a guy going to the buffet and going for seconds and thirds. He's like, I like to load my plate all at once and get it all at one time. I don't go back for seconds. So he's ready for whatever that they have planned for him.
I'm really interested to see just how many snaps he gets, because if his main goal is just to get to the quarterback, it seems like you don't need to know a lot of the playbook. Just like, hey, go get that guy. Turn him loose.
Yeah, I would guess 20, 25 snaps would be my guess. A typical game, on each side of the ball, there'll be somewhere between 60 and 70 snaps. And my guess is he probably plays somewhere in the low 20s.
Rob, we mentioned at the top there the start of things last night in Philadelphia, Jalen Carter getting tossed with the spitting incident. We also saw some taunting penalties later on in the game. Has the Packers coaching staff been reiterating to players, hey, they're going to be putting an emphasis on this. We really cannot have any stupid 15-yarders to start the year?
Yeah, it goes back to earlier this summer in training camp when they had the joint practices here with the Seahawks, and there was that fight. And who was it that got thrown out of the practice? It's been so long I can't remember. Was it Zach Tom? It was one of the offensive linemen. Threw some punches, got thrown out of practice, and Matt LaFleur used that as a reminder. Like, there's consequences for these kind of things, and they can change games. So, now obviously Philly loses one of their best defensive guys basically right after the kickoff. They still won the game, so it didn't impact them in that regard. But yeah, Matt LaFleur has made that a point over and over and over again. And, sometimes it still happens. Tempers run high out there. And sometimes, it's hard to keep those guys under control all the time.
So, Rob, what do the Packers do best? After watching them through training camp, the preseason, how this team is assembled, what are they best at in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a great question, because oftentimes, Greg, it takes, a month into the season to figure out what a team's identity is. This may sound maybe not so great to people, but the one thing that I'm pretty darn sure of is that they can make field goals. And while that sounds like a minor thing, after what they've been through here the last couple of years, ever since the end of the Mason Crosby era, it's been a borderline disaster until Brandon McManus showed up in October of this past year. And I'm telling you, Greg, I've never seen a summer-long field goal exhibition like he put on. I think he was something like 71 of 75 on field goals in practice. He made like his first 20 some. It was a remarkable stretch. So I can tell you that if it comes down to a late field goal, I feel pretty good about their chances. The rest of it, it's hard to tell. We talked about all the injured guys. Jordan Love's thumb, he missed a bunch of training camp with the left thumb injury. So it doesn't seem like I can sit here and tell you that there's one thing on offense that they really have going for them. Defensively, the big question had been the pass rush, and, everything had changed when Micah Parsons showed up. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time before we have a feel for, what this team is good at. Obviously, last year, Josh Jacobs in the running game was really, really good. And then, on defense, they were able to stop the run pretty well.
I'm glad you brought up McManus, Demoski. We're talking with Rob Demoski of ESPN on Wisconsin's Midday News. You, on the Bowl-a-thon for Wilde and Tausch this week, you called him having a perfect year and kicking the game winner in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Are you seeing enough to back up those claims? Because, he was almost perfect last year. It was just a miss in the Lions game on the 3rd of November from being 21 for 21.
Yeah. It's hard because, so much can go wrong and you can miss one kick. The last guy, I believe, to go through an entire NFL season, regular season and playoffs without missing was the Colts kicker Vanderjagt in 2003. Mason Crosby had a perfect field goal season here in 2020, but he missed 4 extra points of all things. So, part of it was I was just trying to make sure Tausch didn't accuse me of not being bold enough. But I really do believe that this has been an incredible run by the kicker, and I think they've got that position pretty well settled. And they, it went from Matt LaFleur saying he prays every time Anders Carlson goes out there to, almost not even having to watch Brandon McManus because it's so automatic.
Yeah, the power of a veteran kicker. Great punter, too. They have a good long snapper. They've signed both of them to extensions, so specialists seem to be in pretty good order. I'll ask you a follow-up question here. Where do the Packers stink? Maybe the most room for growth?
The cornerback position is, to me, is the biggest concern. It was a concern, going into the offseason, and that was before they got rid of Jair Alexander. One of the great stories of training camp was Bo Melton, who's been a receiver here for the last 2 years, switching to cornerback and making the team. And, while that was a great story, the reality is, they're one injury probably away from Bo Melton actually having to play cornerback in an NFL game, which he has never done in a real game before. So, as good of a story as it is, that's a little bit scary to think that. And again, we talked about Nate Hobbs' injury off the top. He's the one major addition they made to the cornerback position. I still think that's a big question mark.
Well, it's always interesting when the Packers and Lions get together. I recall one year, Rob, where the Packers won both games despite not having led during regulation. You never know what you're going to get out of this.
Yeah, they won on the last play of both games, right? Isn't
crazy.
That what it was?
Absolutely crazy. Well, a lot of division flavor here. 2 teams are going to be 1-0. 2 teams are going to be 0-1 unless there's a weird tie because the Bears take on the Vikings here on Monday Night Football. Looking forward to it, Rob. Looking forward to this weekend. Appreciate your time today. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Rob Demoski, Packers Nation reporter for ESPN Nation, I should say. Packers reporter. Been around there a long time. Seen a lot of things. And it'll be another chapter of the Packers and Lions on Sunday. Coming up next, it's our Week in Review. Stay with us.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's. Feels like a Palermo's night in our household. Got an evening soccer match I got to get to for one of my daughters. Sometimes we want to make it easy, and sometimes we choose to make it easy, but we always want to make it delicious. And that's where Palermo's comes into play. You're talking about 2 birds here. Wonderful pizza made by Palermo's and made right here in the state of Wisconsin. In fact, if you're driving by the ballpark right down Canal Street, sometimes you get a good whiff of the yeast. You know what they're making. They're making the fresh dough for Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Screamin' Sicilian, Connie's, Urban Pie, you name it. Palermo's has a slice for every appetite. If you're stopping at the store tonight, make sure to stock up. Palermo's Pizza, found wherever you like to shop. Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Sendik's, Piggly Wiggly, Woodman's, you name it. Check it out. It's Palermo's.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the Big Beautiful Bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Breezy and cool today, a high of 63 degrees. Overnight low 47. Going to be windy as well. Gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Clouds continue on Saturday with a high of 65 degrees. 65 and sunny for Sunday. Back into the 70s on Monday. 59, starting to see a little sun here in downtown Milwaukee at 12:51. Street takeovers ravaged the holiday weekend. The NFL season gets underway. Epstein survivors speak out and more. It's all part of the Week in Review, and it's brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
I'd like to say congratulations, 40 years for engineer Kent Sommerfeld.
Our pregame guest, Kent Sommerfeld's first pitch. Here it comes. Oh, it bounced.
We got the reading on the radar gun from Kent Sommerfeld's first pitch, by the way. 41 miles per hour, so he was halfway to a big league changeup.
Welcome to downtown Milwaukee on the holiday weekend. Video posted all over social media of multiple so-called street takeovers.
Participating in these events, it's not smart. It just really isn't. Like, somebody's going to end up hurt. Somebody's going to end up dead.
Joining us right now is Alex Ayala. He is the president of the Milwaukee Police Association.
We are done doing so much with so little.
A lot of cities are wondering if the National Guard might help.
I think that would be a great help, and I welcome it. Bring the National Guard to Milwaukee so they can give us a hand.
I don't understand why he's interested in bringing in federal troops now, bringing in the federal government now.
He's back, baby. Manassas has officially signed a contract to return to the Milwaukee Bucks.
I say this in all honesty, I don't think there's a more deserving person to be back with a team that he deserves to play for than Thanasis is. It's just an incredible story.
So you may have heard some whispers that this may have been a package deal, so to speak, maybe?
Giannis and TA are Milwaukee Bucks, and I couldn't be more excited.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Can I offer this disclaimer? I don't want this to happen.
Oh, boy.
My bold-a-thon pick this year is the Packers have a losing season.
Blasphemy! What a bummer.
The boldest of bold, I'll say Micah Parsons will reach 20 sacks this year.
Whoa!
20.
Let's go, hey!
Sackophones for Micah Parsons.
I bought on eBay.
That's right, Telly. Happy birthday to eBay, turning 30 today.
I'm highest bidder.
You saw what I just saw, Tilly. Somebody bought Albert, Texas. It was like an unincorporated town. They bought it on eBay.
They bought it on eBay for $2.5 million, and there were a whopping 7 people in this town in 2015.
Wow. I wonder how they felt about that. Yeah, maybe one of them bought it, for all I know. Who knows?
I was only 14 years old when I met Jeffrey. It was the summer of high school. I was working 3 jobs to try to support my mom and my sister.
No one listened to them for the last how many years when they were suffering all this abuse silently.
And to the person who just texted, nobody explains why these young women agreed to go to Epstein Island. Do you know how easy it is to manipulate young people? Do not victim blame these girls.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testifying today on President Trump's health care agenda before the Senate Finance Committee.
I'm asking the questions for Mr. Kennedy on behalf of parents and schools and teachers who deserve so much better than your leadership.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of that agency.
You got 2 colonies worth of murder in that magnifying glass.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Oh, always an entertaining look back at the week that was. The Week in Review is brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Caught you laughing during the Weird Al Yankovic eBay song. Yes, you know that your thing, whatever it is, your song or your entity is a big deal if Weird Al is offering a parody. So yes, he stepped into the eBay world well prior to its 30th anniversary, which was earlier this week.
Is there a man or woman in the music industry that has been more culturally relevant over a longer stretch of time than Weird Al Yankovic?
Always seems to find a way, right?
Always seems
to find a way. Well, what's really hurt now is that music videos are no longer what they once were. So he had the music video for Michael Jackson's, instead of Beat It, Weird Al famously did Eat It. It was kind of interesting and disgusting at the same time. But yes, music videos no longer the same, but Weird Al sure is.
Oh, yeah.
He sure is. 12:55, news coming up.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history, like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Greg Matzek here for Flanners Home Entertainment. Boy, what a great time to stop into Flanners. If you've not been to their store, either in West Allis or Grafton recently, you're going to want to stop in. See all the new latest and greatest TVs, whole house audio systems, anything they can do to help enhance your entertainment system at home. Audio, video, you name it. If you're looking for a technology upgrade, and we are, check out Flanners Home Entertainment. They got a great website as well. This is where you really get into some of the big sales, maybe some clearance items. There's some great deals right now at Flanners.com. I was playing on the website a couple of days ago. We're in the process of finishing our basement, so yeah, we're going to add a little bit. Going to try and find a bigger TV, better resolution to make movie nights a little more entertaining. If you want to go that route, go to Flanners. If you just need a new cable or something like that, they can help you with it too. Big or small, they are the experts in the space. Flanners Home Entertainment. Forget about the big box stores, risky online purchases with no after-sales support. There's always Flanners. Quality, service, best brands, best prices right here in Wisconsin. Check it out. It's Flanners Home Entertainment. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home. Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
It's Christmas. You just got a great present that you believe when you open it, you're going to win a championship.
See the world from his perspective.
I think the only real answer is they bungled it. And I think Dallas fans know that they bungled it.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
We'll take your bungling, and we're going to be more than happy to grab that bungle, take it, and try to chase the championship with it.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush-mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, remember it's Grandparents' Weekend. It's not as well known as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important. I mean, super important. John Mercure here from WTMJ. Think about those memories. Think about those moments. And then take your mom, dad, and grandparents to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for a free dinner. Enjoy a great steak, the seafood, the roast duck, even the steak and lobster, or maybe pasta or ribs are more your deal. Any entree, your second dinner is free. Desserts, and I love those, even on Grandparents' Weekend, or buy one, get one free. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with 4 garlic cream stuffed shrimp and all the sides for $66.99. That's for 2 dinners. The Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat, one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. And this Saturday only, check this out, 2 prime rib and shrimp dinners for $66.99. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. The fall drive is spectacular. Call, reserve today. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com. We're sailing back to Pittsburgh and swiping all the booty when we get there.
Yelich taking off, Garcia not paying attention, and Yelich will steal third while the ball was still in the pitcher's hand.
The Brewers face off against the Pirates. Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, September 5th. Your top story, cracking down on street takeovers.
I'm Adam Roberts. Competing protests at Milwaukee City Hall.
Partly sunny, windy and cool today. Wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Clear tonight, breezy, a low of 47. 59 and sunny in Milwaukee. At 101, from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, taking action against street takeovers in the city of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee leaders outlined their latest push to crack down on street takeovers across the city. Mayor Cavalier Johnson called the gatherings disruptive and dangerous, saying they put both participants and bystanders at risk. He said the city is working with police and the Public Works Department to stop the takeovers and hold organizers accountable. Police Chief Jeffrey Norman added that officers will continue using targeted operations to break up events before they begin. And Mayor Johnson closed by urging the community, if you know someone involved in these takeovers, tell them to stop and hold them accountable before another tragedy happens. At City Hall, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Officials plan to impose a $500 citation for anyone involved in the takeovers.
Competing protests at Milwaukee City Hall, where ununiformed police officers are demanding a contract after working without one for almost 3 years.
I'm here to back the badge. I'm here to support the men and women that support us in our communities.
Milwaukee police are protesting to settle contract negotiations with the city. Patty Jerving is the mother of fallen officer Peter Jerving.
We would be upset that our officers are not being paid what they are worth.
A counter-protest formed opposing a new contract and higher wages. The police union says today is the deadline to receive a contract offer outside of arbitration. At City Hall, Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Police in Washington, D.C. arrest 2 teens in the killing of a congressional intern. Shooting happened in late June, a mile from the White House.
Authorities say the Massachusetts-born intern for a Kansas Republican congressman was not the intended target of what is considered a premeditated shooting, the function of a, quote, neighborhood crew dispute. 2 17-year-olds have now been charged with first-degree murder, and a third suspect is still being sought. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro says the teens who've been charged had prior records in family court. She now wants Congress to change D.C.'s law to allow her office to prosecute more juvenile offenders.
Because they're not kids, they're criminals.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
A sluggish jobs report out today that could indicate the health of the economy and whether the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates later this month.
The White House is brushing off the August jobs report, which showed employers are dramatically slowing down their hiring. Only 22,000 jobs were added last month. Director of the National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett.
All the indicators that we're seeing are that inflation is low and economic growth is solid. Income growth solid as well. So that the only part of the data that's disappointing is that the jobs numbers have been a little bit lower over the last 3 or 4 months.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The unemployment rate rose slightly to 4.3%.
Well, the man that Milwaukee Judge Hannah Dugan allegedly helped evade ICE officials has agreed to be deported. Journal Sentinel reports that Eduardo Flores Ruiz pleaded guilty to illegally re-entering the United States after he was first deported to Mexico in 2013. A plea agreement says the 32-year-old will leave the country at the end of any prison term he is sentenced to next month. Flores Ruiz still faces 3 counts of misdemeanor battery in state court, with a trial set for next month.
News about your money now, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. On the heels of that sluggish jobs report, the big three with some downturn today. The Dow off about 0.7%, down 331 at 45,295. The Nasdaq off 76 points at 21,631, and the S&P 500 is down 41 points this hour, down to 6,461. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
Love cutting your lawn or raking leaves? Yeah, right. Well, if you lived in a brand new Cornerstone development community, someone else handles those duties. Buy a brand new home in the Grove in River Hills, the Glen at Stonewall Farms in Grafton, the Glen at Standing Stone in Waukesha, or the Glen at Wanakee in Menominee Falls, and they take care of the maintenance. All built with your selection of finishes. If you downsize, there's a clubhouse for when you temporarily need to upsize. Take a virtual tour and see for yourself at cornerstonedevelopment.com.
Enjoy unbeatable deals on clothing and more this week at Fleet Farm. Get a $25 gift card free with a $100 purchase of select denim jeans. For snackers, select bags of our whole cashews and deluxe mixed nuts are 2 for $12. And 40-pound bags of KT Basic Blend Wild Bird Food are on sale for just $14.99. Get these specials and more at your local Fleet Farm. And check out all our weekly deals at fleetfarm.com. Selection varies by store. Some exclusions apply.
Ken David Mazur's thoughtful and spectacular final season as music director of the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra kicks off in grand style as the MSO welcomes Stuart Goodyear to the Bradley Symphony Center as soloist in the Piano Concerto for the Left Hand by Maurice Ravel. This dazzling and inventive showpiece will be preceded by Swedish composer Andrea Torotti's festive overture. And then, in the second half, it's Richard Strauss's autobiographical work Ein Heldenleben, or A Hero's Life. With moving solos for the concertmaster, this piece features all that's best in Strauss, from its vast, sweeping design to lush harmonies and brilliant, masterful orchestration. The MSO's season opener, A Hero's Life, runs September 13th and 14th only. So reserve your tickets now while you still can. Visit MSO.org or call the box office at 414-291-7605.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. After dropping 2 of 3 against the Phillies, the Brewers begin a 3-game series against the Pirates tonight in Pittsburgh with a beat-up bullpen. Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey.
They just lost Shelby Miller, who was a really key pickup. They were really happy to get him at the trade deadline, not have to give up a player. He was going to be a key part of navigating these 7th, 8th, 9th innings the rest of the way. Trevor McGill is still working his way back. Now you lose another guy.
Yeah, that other guy is reliever Nick Mears, who is on the 15-day injured list with a back issue. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 5:40 on WTMJ. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur hoping to turn pass rusher Micah Parsons loose on Sunday against the Lions.
He's got an extremely high football IQ. I don't think he'll have any issues, so you're pretty specific with what you're going to ask him to do. I don't foresee that being a problem. I think he's got a high capacity and really smart guy.
Packers acquired Parsons in a trade with the Cowboys a week ago. And the NFL continues tonight. The Chiefs take on the Los Angeles Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Off to the roads we go. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Slow spot still remains 4145 from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. And then once you get to about Burleigh, you are in the free and clear. On the northbound side, Highway 100 up towards Hampton will be a touch slow. Had some earlier backups on 43 heading south from Capitol Drive towards downtown. Had a crash on the right shoulder near Highland. Looks like a lot of that has cleared up. Maybe just a slight slow spot between Capitol and about Locust as you head towards downtown. As far as incidents go, we're largely free right now across the system.
Kind of a chilly and breezy day today. Mainly clear tonight at a low of 47. Partly cloudy, breezy, cool on Saturday, a high of 65. Sun returns on Sunday with a high of 65. Sunny and pleasant on Monday and a high of 71. It's currently 59, partly sunny in Milwaukee at 109.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Hope your Friday is going well. Adam in for Jessica. She will be back next week, Tuesday. I admittedly did not know Jessica was off on Monday, and neither did our intrepid producer, Gina. We looked at the schedule. Oh, wait a minute now. Telly Hughes will be back on Monday. Jessica enjoying some well-deserved time off and a beautiful time of year to take off, what she's done.
Yeah, especially if you are of the liking of fall weather, of which I am. Now, I called a lot of high school football games back in the day, so I just have that feeling of once the lows at night start to get into the 40s, like that's my time of year. I love fall weather.
Yeah, September, a strong month, no doubt about that. Football tonight, football tomorrow, football Sunday during the baseball season as it's hurtling toward the postseason. Great time of year to be a sports fan as well.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, number one, MPS continues to make significant progress in a number of different fronts, including lead. Milwaukee Public Schools Superintendent Brenda Caselius announcing after months of intensive work, all 50 MPS schools built before 1950 that serve elementary school students have been cleared of lead risks. We had Brenda on with us last week, and I had asked with the start of school year upon us if everybody was going to be in their location. Are they going to have to move schools, go somewhere else? She said no. There's a couple of classrooms that we were looking to get fixed up and make sure that they're okay. So maybe a class would move within a school, but they wouldn't have to move schools. And this, the latest sign of the progress that they've made. A lot of work in trying to get through this. The summer months were helpful, though met with challenges with heat, flooding. They had some other issues they had to contend with.
So now what's up next, according to the superintendent, is going to be some of those mid-year schools. Think about 1950 to the late 70s, and the district saying that work likely going to be a lot less intensive than what we saw with some of the older buildings because of more lead litigation and legislation later on in time, that the levels aren't quite as high in some of those buildings as they were in others. Number two, a major immigration roundup in Georgia today, where Homeland Security says 475 people, many of which were Korean nationals, were apprehended. They're calling this the largest single-site enforcement operation in the history of the Homeland Security Department. It's all happening at a Hyundai Meta plant site in Bryan County, Georgia. Special agent in charge, Steve Schrenk, is there.
Some that illegally crossed the border into the United States. Some that came in through visa waiver and were prohibited from working. Some that had visas and overstayed their visas.
Meanwhile, this all happening under the umbrella of larger Homeland Security crackdowns. A memo by CBS News says the Pentagon's making space for about 250 federal agents in Illinois at a military base. This ahead of expected roundups in Chicago, which has been in the sights of President Trump in the past few weeks for targeting the National Guard's deployment. CBS Chicago's Darius Johnson at a facility where protesters are as well.
Protesters are pushing back against the federal immigration crackdown outside this ICE facility. Now, this facility usually handles immigration cases, but now it's being called ground zero for the crackdown.
You build up again following previous comments from the president that he would send the Guard to the nation's third largest city previously this week, saying, quote, "We're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in."
Staying in Illinois, the president of Northwestern University says he is stepping down. CBS's Stacy Lynn.
President Michael Schill announced his resignation in a message sent to the campus community that said the university faced, quote, serious and often painful challenges since his tenure began in 2022. And he said difficult problems remain, particularly at the federal level. His departure comes as the university faces an ongoing funding freeze by the Trump administration. An interim president for Northwestern has yet to be named. Stacy Lynn, CBS News.
Yeah, the funding freeze is really significant here. That's about $800 million. And, of course, it put on hold a number of different research projects at the university. The university ultimately laid off hundreds of employees. Reports range on this from 200 to more than 400 workers affected. But a significant deal, and it really remains that Harvard was the one institution to take on the Trump administration, and for now anyway, come out ahead. Of course, that decision will also be appealed, but it's been a rough go at Northwestern University, very proud university here in the Midwest.
And we've seen the sphere of President Trump kind of having some influence over some of the heads of these institutions. You recall our new director of the Milwaukee Art Museum, Kim Sayet, was in some hot water over when she was at the Smithsonian with the president. Didn't see eye to eye on diversity there.
It's 1:14 on WTMJ.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
Siding Unlimited, truly siding and a whole lot more. We had all that rain that happened last month, and it was a mess. I was worried about one particular corner in our basement because the northwest corner, as you go up, you end up as part of our paver patio installed by the folks at Siding Unlimited and Outdoor Living Unlimited. Well, I checked out their meticulous work, and I think they saved us. When little things become big things, some of the soldier pavers that were right around the perimeter of the house, well, they were pitched ever so perfectly so as to disperse water that was potentially going to clog in that area had it not been pitched perfectly. Now, the joint locking sand, which I tend to top off every couple of years because of erosion, well, I'm glad I had done that over the course of time. We were saved because of the installation teams at Siding Unlimited. It's one thing to have great products. It is another thing, and maybe a more important thing, to have the right installers of those products. It could have been a disaster at our house if it weren't for Siding Unlimited and Outdoor Living Unlimited. Let them do for you what they've done for us. They will beautify your home's exterior, and they will do it the right way. Beautiful windows from Pella, LP Smart Side Siding, the best in roofing shingles, doors, siding, roofing doors, outdoor projects like patios and pergolas, pavers, you name it. It's Siding Unlimited. Wonderful people, and they do an incredible job. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
We're sailing back to Pittsburgh and swiping all the booty when we get there.
Yelich taking off, Garcia not paying attention, and Yelich will steal third while the ball was still in the pitcher's hand.
The Brewers face off against the Pirates.
Through second base, and Lockridge is safe. Lockridge steals the bag.
Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
But why is the rum gone?
Kind of a cool day here with temperatures topping out about 63 degrees. Plenty of wind as well. You're probably feeling that. Overnight low of 47 degrees. Tomorrow back into the mid-60s, but cloudy and breezy. Sunday looks a little bit better with a high of 65. Plenty of sun. Looks like Monday is a winter back above 70 under sunny skies. 59, partly sunny in Milwaukee at 117.
Wisconsin's Midday News, Adam Roberts in the co-host seat in place of Jessica Ty. She's back on Tuesday alongside Greg Matzek with you here on WTMJ. Getting some new information this afternoon, a new leg of this story that we've been following for you closely here on WTMJ, going back to about this past June. Wisconsin Congressman Brian Stiles sending a letter today to the Transportation Secretary in Washington, former Wisconsin Congressman Sean Duffy, with a call for an update on accountability measures for transit agencies. If you've been with us before, you know where we're probably going with this. The Milwaukee County Transit System has had kind of a host of issues over the last roughly 3 months or so, dating back to mid-June, when we reported first that the transit system was over almost $11 million in a budget hole. Now, they've made some progress on that. More on that in a moment. But per this letter from Congressman Stile, it pertains a lot to this idea of fare evasion. And we've talked a little bit earlier this week about how the system is currently seeing about 1 in 3 riders, per their data, that are not paying to ride the bus. It's been an issue that's been plaguing the system for many years. This goes back to roughly, at least officially, 2022 when they changed some of their policy. But now they're losing millions of dollars every single year because people just aren't paying to ride the bus, and it's particularly bad on some of the newer routes as well.
Well, we talked earlier this week about the opportunities that MCTS has to upgrade their fleet. They want to go to more of a clean diesel burning fuel that's going to help in the long run. There's some other options here to try and just kind of make it a more robust system. But to me, the headline here is that the system had a nearly $11 million deficit due to unexpected losses. And that means people aren't riding, number one, or they're not paying to ride, right? That all kind of fits into the same category, lack of interest or lack of paying. But it comes out to $11 million. So they got to figure out how to make sure people are paying when they get on the bus. And I don't know if that means empowering the drivers to stop the individuals and say, hey, what do you can't get on the bus until you scan your thing or you pay the fare.
So in terms of hard dollars, the system estimating about $4 million last year alone in 2024 that they lost because of this practice of fare evasion, which prompted the letter today from Congressman Stile. Just reading a quick excerpt from it. It's not only pushing MCTS towards insolvency, but fundamentally unfair to the hardworking families who rely on public transportation, follow the rules, and pay their fares. And I will admit, as a bus driver myself, who I will right on the air say I have every single time paid to ride the bus. If I didn't have my phone on me, I plopped the cash in the receiver. And I'm going to be honest, I understand it's not a black and white issue completely, but I do feel a little bit like a sucker every time I watch, and I've seen it basically every time I've ridden a bus in the last probably 2-3 years, at least once, where someone will just come on or quickly say, oh, can you help me out? And then they wave them through. Now, I understand this is largely due to a safety issue, MCTS has said. They don't want people getting angry over being told, hey, get off the bus if you can't pay, and then making a swing. That's why they have the big shields up in front. But it certainly is an issue that isn't going away. Now, on to the budget that you mentioned, Greg. The system has brought it down a little bit. We learned this week it's roughly down to about $9 million, which, $9 million, $11 million, it's still a deficit. But it is down, but the issue remains. And so earlier this week, Supervisor Sean Rowland, who led this mandate that the supervisors put out to crack down on this fare evasion, says the time to act has to be now or it's only going to get worse because there's going to be more budget cuts coming.
We all know how long it takes for an RFP to be put together. Then it has to be fielded. It's out in the field for 3 to 6 months. Then we get, initial introductory conversations. And by the time things are actually spun up, all of a sudden we're going to be in the midst of 2027 budget discussions.
It's a lot of political speak there, but the issue, of course, still remains.
They get a lot of funding. They typically do. In 2023, MCTS or Milwaukee County received $57.5 million in federal transit funding. That's a lot of money to help keep your system up and running and keep it robust. But, the deficits that you can't really plan for, you got to have ridership. You got to have going places that people want to go. That's all part of it. Cleaner buses, great. Want to feel safe on those buses. That's a part of it, too. But the $4 million due to fare evasion is the headline for me. What in the world? $4 million that you could have if people would just follow the rules.
So on to that idea of, okay, the numbers, the 1 in 3 people who aren't paying to ride. If were some people at this where you heard the supervisor Rowland speaking there at a meeting, members of the transit union that are currently fighting for a new contract have said that number is way too low. We've seen the numbers way, way higher than this. Where are they getting their data? So over at Fox 6, they have an investigative reporter there, and Brian Polson, you've likely seen on your evening TVs, and did a little bit of digging. He's my guest this week on Reporter's Notebook, and did a little bit of out-in-the-field reporting with hidden cameras to just catch how bad this actually is, and shared some interesting results with me.
What I found with just 3 routes, and I get this is a snapshot, it's not a comprehensive look, is we saw evasion rates from 43 to up to 64% on 3 different routes. significantly more than the 25% we were hearing about from MCTS. So it matched with what people were telling me, and that was kind of the beginning of the reporting.
And so Polson also tells me there were moments where he and his producers were riding the buses. People would have a quick conversation and then have a little fist bump with the bus driver, like, I got you, man. You just hop on. So, yeah, it continues to happen. And despite this move, now you're going to see fare ambassadors who are out educating people. Hey, you got to pay your fare. You're going to hear on the bus, boom, boom, every fare counts. Please pay your fare. But it's still going to happen. Education's not going to change it, especially not overnight.
Yeah, I don't know if the noise is going to help, right? I don't know if the
or
little
the
ping
signs
bong
that they will say at the front end of like, every fare counts.
Well,
remember, every fare counts. Okay, great. I was paying for free before. I was riding for free before, and I'm going to continue today. I have to imagine.
123 on WTMJ.
I'm here to help. This is your WTMJ Fix-It Show host, David Nason, with expert advice for our listeners. If you're dealing with leaks, stains, or cracks in your basement, it's time to call my trusted friends at Accurate Basement Repair. And you know what? You'll get a free expert evaluation on me. You just tell them David Nason, the Fix-It guy, told me to call. Don't let basement issues mess up your home. Trust Accurate Basement Repair to get the job done right. And again, that's Accurate Basement Repair, 414-744-6900 or accuratebasementrepair.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
We see you out there building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like rolls of Maisel welded wire fencing. Rewards members buy one, get one half price. Blaine's brand commercial vehicle batteries, $5 off for rewards members. And 5 gallons of Mystic diesel oil, just $39.99 after sale and rebate. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Since 1946, Ansay & Associates has provided insurance to help secure businesses and families throughout Wisconsin. With custom coverage and superior customer service, Ansay & Associates can provide all of your insurance needs. Visit ansay.com today and get a free consultation with one of our strategists. Or come see us in person at any of our local offices. Ansay & Associates, securing and protecting your American dream.
Well, now that it's back to school time, you might be wondering how your kids are utilizing AI in the classroom. Some are finding a way to use it versus pushing it away.
I talked to one teacher who spent a good portion of those beginning months and years just trying to ban it, trying to catch her students using it. But she'd recently shifted more from surveillance toward a guidance approach. So her goal is now to design assignments that emphasize the student voice, creativity, and personal connection. These are things that a chatbot really can't replicate, but they can certainly help with.
That's ABC News parenting reporter Bethany Braun Silva talking to ABC radio affiliate WIOD. Teachers getting creative on the use of AI in classrooms. What should you use? What should you not use? At what age is it appropriate to introduce AI to the classroom? It's a really interesting discussion, and I was talking to one of my daughter's teachers about just that. I've got a third grader and a fifth grader. The fifth grader is now in a new building. Mm-hmm. She's got her own Chromebook, right? She's feeling like a big kid now, which is very cool. And we had a discussion about just what they allow. And, they're on the Chromebooks for portions of the day. As a fifth grader, right? My daughter does not have a cell phone. Cell phones aren't really an issue at this level. But they're starting to see it on their smart boards. They're starting to use AI in interesting components of the classroom. They're starting to understand what ChatGPT is. And we've talked how this can all go the wrong way with AI because AI hasn't caught up with all the different things that somebody could prompt it to do or say. And yes, you've seen it used for evil and not good in some respects, and it's not a perfect system. But I'm curious to see how this develops over the course of time, how AI is embraced in the classroom.
I still can remember back when I was in middle school and this newfangled technology called Facebook was just starting to become a thing. And remember having to hear in classes like, all right, how are we going to responsibly manage this and not just have our kids playing Farmville in every single study hall session, which ultimately did happen in high school. But there you go. It happens once a generation. It seems a new technology comes around. Got to adapt.
Well, it's on the teachers now, too, to make sure that it's not doing all the work for the students, right? So that's part of the trick. And again, I think when you get it to a little higher levels in school, be it high school or college, you got to do a little bit more, careful searching here. You got to do some fact checking on their own, making sure that AI is used as a tool, maybe a way to brainstorm ideas or to clarify your original thought or writing. Maybe check your own kind of thinking instead of being the thing you just sort of rely on to do all your work. It's 1:28 news coming up.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Make your next family trip one for the history books at Old World, Wisconsin. Set against the natural beauty of the Kettle Moraine State Forest, you'll enter a one-of-a-kind place where the modern world fades away. Explore authentically restored homes, farms, stores, and workshops representing more than a century of Wisconsin history. Meet heritage farm animals, visit a one-room schoolhouse, lend a hand in the blacksmith shop, ride a high-wheel bicycle, and so much more. Travel through time and the stories of America's heartland. Get your tickets at oldworldwisconsin.wisconsinhistory.org.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, finally free from lead.
I'm Adam Roberts, arrested after a smash and grab.
Breezy conditions today, a high of 63, plenty of clouds. It's currently 60 with a little bit of sun in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. What federal immigration police call their biggest ever raid rounded up at least 450 workers at a Hyundai battery plant in Georgia, most Koreans. A second in a row weaker than expected monthly jobs report as the White House blaming Labor Department statistics experts. Over 22,000 jobs added by employers in August. The unemployment rate ticked up to 4.3%. ABC's Alexis Christoforous.
Part of that is companies are retaining, they're holding on to their workers longer, and they're not willing to hire new workers. They're not willing to, expand payrolls with so much uncertainty in the air. You've got the tariffs, you've got geopolitical tensions, and it's starting to play out in the labor market.
New York joining several states making vaccines more available. Governor Kathy Hochul signs an executive order to allow pharmacies to administer COVID shots without a prescription. Sources tell ABC News there are discussions of the Justice Department about banning some transgender people from buying guns. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 1:31.
Finally cleared from lead. Milwaukee Public Schools Superintendent Brenda Caselius confirms all 50 MPS schools built before 1950 that serve elementary school students are cleared of lead risks. The students in district will now shift focus to the 52 schools built between 1950 and 1978. These buildings are anticipated to have lower lead risks because of decreased use of lead-based paint. And the work will happen outside of school hours with the goal for completion by December of this year.
Multiple people are injured after a shooting this morning in Sheboygan.
Possible 2-year-old female conscious of breathing.
Broadcastify, courtesy of Broadcastify, police responding near Business Drive in Wilson this morning. Flight for Life called to transport a 2-year-old child who appeared to be shot in the upper armpit. 2 others injured. A suspect now in custody, and a gun has been recovered from the scene.
Nabbing a suspect in a smash-and-grab burglary in Racine.
Deputies say gas station surveillance video shows the bandit on a bike early Tuesday morning, smashing glass, grabbing cigarettes, booze, vape gear, and more before pedaling off on the bicycle he came on. Fast forward 2 days later, and deputies say a strong tip led them to the 37-year-old suspect they arrested with the stolen loot and exact clothes he wore in the crime. He's now currently in the Racine County Jail and has an active warrant out of Florida for burglary. Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
Officials in Dane County identifying a man who had drowned in Lake Mendota earlier this week. 33-year-old Omar Brito from Fitchburg jumping from a pontoon boat without a life jacket on Monday near Warner Beach. His body recovered the next day.
Nearly a month after historic flooding hit southeastern Wisconsin, residents anxiously waiting for federal aid as a presidential disaster declaration remains pending. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson tells WTMJ.
At the end of the day, whether they're in Milwaukee, in the region, elsewhere in Wisconsin, these are American citizens who need assistance, who need help from their federal government and ultimately from their president, because it's the president that ultimately makes the decision here. So I'm hopeful that'll be heeded by the White House, and the people who need help, who need assistance here, will get it.
Governor Evers requested a disaster declaration from President Trump last week.
Sports, traffic, and weather are on the way next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 1:33.
Enjoy unbeatable deals on clothing and more this week at Fleet Farm. Get a $25 gift card free with a $100 purchase of select denim jeans. For snackers, select bags of our whole cashews and deluxe mixed nuts are 2 for $12. And 40-pound bags of KT Basic Blend Wild Bird Food are on sale for just $14.99. Get these specials and more at your local Fleet Farm. And check out all our weekly deals at fleetfarm.com. Selection varies by store. Some exclusions apply.
Hey, did you know it's Grandparents' Weekend? I know, not as popular as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important, right? WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your mom, your dad, your grandparents to the amazing Mind Chef family restaurant in Hartford. The Friday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $7.99. You'll pay double for that at other restaurants. The Saturday steak or prime rib dinner with all the sides are both under $25. Desserts, I love their desserts, are buy one, get one free. The Sunday brunch is all you can eat. It's a feast. It's under $15. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. The Mind Chef is super affordable. It's family friendly. You'll love the Friday all you can eat $7.99 haddock fish fry serving from 10:30. Arrive early. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mind Chef. The Mind Chef's in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. Reserve your grandparents' weekend table now. Google the Mind Chef restaurant.
There's a problem if your lawyer is famous for one phone call and a quick settlement. It weakens your position in a negotiation. Another problem is due diligence. That's what trial lawyers conduct when preparing a case. Things like lost wages, lifetime medical costs, and other variables that can't be considered in a quick settlement. In fact, one call and a quick settlement is exactly what the other side wants. Instead, call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service. Visit Habish.com to find out more.
Rivalry baseball in September? It doesn't get any better. Join the Brewers as they battle the Cardinals Friday, September 12th through Sunday the 14th. While the action heats up, you can gear up for fall baseball with a Brewers crew neck giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on Saturday the 13th. Then bring the whole family for Looney Tunes Day on Sunday the 14th. The home stretch of the season is here, and you don't want to miss it. Get in on the action at brewers.com/tickets.
Steinhafels has extended their Labor Day sale and they're celebrating the Packers. Save 10% off store-wide and score a $100 Packers gift card when you spend over $1,999. Steinhafels, proud partner of the Green Bay Packers. Shop in-store or at steinhafels.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers have a bullpen problem.
They just lost Shelby Miller, who was a really key pickup. They were really happy to get him at the trade deadline, not have to give up a player. He was going to be a key part of navigating these 7th, 8th, 9th innings the rest of the way. Trevor McGill is still working his way back. Now you lose another guy.
Yeah, the other guy is Nick Mears. He's on the 15-day injured list with a back issue. McGill, for what it's worth, had a successful bullpen session the other night. Is expected to have another bullpen this weekend. Brewers in Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 5:05. And Packers head coach Matt LaFleur hoping to turn loose newly acquired pass rusher Micah Parsons Sunday against the Lions.
He's got an extremely high football IQ. I don't think he'll have any issues, so you're pretty specific with what you're going to ask him to do. I don't foresee that being a problem. I think he's got a high capacity and really smart guy.
Packers acquired Parsons in a trade with the Cowboys last week. And football tonight, it's the Chiefs and Chargers from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
To the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Got a broken down vehicle on the ramp from Capitol heading to 4145 North. This is right near the HOV lane. On the actual freeway, it remains a slow go anywhere between Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive, and then north from about Highway 100 up to Capitol. 43 has cleared up nicely between Capitol and downtown as you head south, and everywhere else across the system looking very good right now. No major incidents or delays.
A lot of football this weekend, of course, begins tonight. Friday Night Lights, high school action, and I'm guessing the high schoolers may wish they would have the weather in Green Bay forecasted for Sunday. I don't know. For that, we welcome in TMJ4 Chief Meteorologist. It's Brian Niznansky. Hey, Niz.
Yo, what's up, guys? Yeah, definitely breezy, definitely chilly today, but the wind is starting to calm a little bit. We had some much higher gusts earlier today.
So I was going to ask you about that. So one of my daughters is in a soccer tournament tonight at Uline. There's 40 teams playing in this thing, right?
Wow.
I don't know if your family is going to be out there tonight, but I was looking this morning at the wind ripping around thinking, it might be a tale of two halves, depending which side you're on.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be more of a west wind for tonight. So whether that's a crosswind or whether you're going against it, just factor that. So any coaches out there, football games, soccer games, west wind for the most part. Now, with that said, I do think the wind will continue to get lighter and lighter as the day goes on. We started today with gusts 30 to as much as 40 miles per hour. Now we're starting to see more of that 10 to 20 mile per hour gust range. So still going to be breezy, but just not as bad. And yes, it will be cool enough that not only do you want at least a sweatshirt, but make sure you have on pants and maybe even a light jacket or hat will be needed later on tonight.
Speaking of the cool weather, Niz, I know earlier this week, I think it was, you had a mosquito report on just how bad things were at soccer practice. With this cooler weather, I have to imagine finally some relief has been brought to us, thankfully.
Yeah. A little bit of relief, but it's not going to completely wipe them out. You got to get below 50 for them to really, the mosquitoes to really go into a dormant state, and then a freeze will kill them. Now, the last couple nights where we've had lows in the 40s, that's definitely helped things out. And tonight, that will be the case again. So late tonight, they'll definitely be dormant. The breeze helps, though. What I'm getting at is there still will be mosquitoes, but it won't be nearly as bad as the last couple of weeks or the last couple of Friday nights with the wind and cooler temperatures.
Well, that is a good thing, but cooler temperatures nonetheless. The weekend, how does it look here? Shaping up for a day in Madison and a day in Green Bay?
Yeah, so another little minor change to the forecast Saturday. Models are starting to pop up a couple of little scattered showers in the afternoon, so keep that in mind in Madison, or if you have any outdoor plans Saturday afternoon. It'll be very hit and miss stuff, and if you get under a shower, maybe it lasts for 5 minutes. But it's enough of a chance to put it in the forecast. Now, Sunday looks completely dry. More sunshine on Sunday as well. Probably the better of the 2 weekend days. Temperatures for highs will be in the 60s all weekend long. So again, running 10 to 15 degrees colder than normal.
Niz, I don't know how closely you're following, but I've been monitoring what's going on in the Pacific with Hurricane Kiko. I can't recall the last time I remember Hawaii being in the sights of any kind of tropical storm or hurricane, looking like it might get to the island around Tuesday, at least the Big Island.
Yeah. It can happen. Now, it's not as common as our Atlantic season, just the way the westerlies and easterlies all work. But yes, Hawaii is not completely immune to hurricanes. They've had them in the past, nowhere near the frequency that locations in the Caribbean get. But yes, there is a threat there. I don't know the exact latest track on this one. I have been monitoring things, but yeah, it's definitely kind of a definitely take action type of time for Hawaii. Be prepared to at least have some tropical storm force winds.
Yeah, definitely that type of year. You mentioned the change in the forecast here for Saturday. Sunday looks great. I know people are going to have a tailgating day up in Green Bay with that late afternoon kick, but it's going to feel like fall football weather in Green Bay on Sunday, no?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you think of like a lot of those first, like especially week 1, week 2, week 3. I mean, there's been plenty of games at Lambeau that have been in the 80s, and it gets uncomfortable still when it's sunny and you're on those aluminum bleachers all afternoon long, and the players, it gets warm for them. So really some great conditions for not only college football for some on Saturday, but also on Sunday. Very comfortable on Sunday. Sunday looking like the better of the 2 days here and up in Green Bay. So, maybe a sweatshirt, or even by the afternoon on Sunday, you'll be able to get away with short sleeves.
I can picture you going out to Madison, not tomorrow, but tonight, staying the night, going to the game tomorrow, then shooting up to Green Bay Sunday morning. This sounds like a weekend for the Niznanskis.
100%. I'd love to do that. But as you know, the kids gobble up our weekends. So that would have to be planned. I know my brother and my dad would want to make that trip one of these days as well, too. I've yet to combo it up. Badgers and Packers in one weekend.
Well, you could
rent an
RV. You're familiar with that. You could stay on the RV, right? Just plop it down somewhere near the airport.
Hey, if I could get to Lake Mendota and to Green Bay by boat, then it would be. I would consider it. But that would take as some far magic, as I know.
That's not a bad idea either. We'll figure out a map we'll get a route there for you, Niz.
Go through like Lake Poygan or something, and I don't know.
The new Northwest
Impossible.
Passage.
That's right.
Good stuff, Niz. We'll check it again next week. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
Yep, take care. I don't know how to do that necessarily. I don't know how to triangulate via boat from Madison to Green Bay. There's got to be a way to do it. But
I think the Fox River's got to be involved in some way. Maybe Lake Winnebago.
The Fox gets awfully narrow at points when you're getting up toward Oshkosh, and then it widens out. But yes, indeed. Brian Niznansky joins us every day here on Wisconsin's Midday News. It is 1:44.
Save big money now at Menards. Patriot Lighting outdoor motion sensing wall lights bring on-demand bright illumination, adding safety and security to your outdoor area. Choose from a variety of styles and functions like the 3-head motion sensor floodlight, which has a powerful 5,500 lumen brightness. Save big on all Patriot security lights. Also check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, focused on business. Such wonderful people at Horicon Bank, and they have been in business since 1896, and now expanding into southeastern Wisconsin. You've probably seen Horicon Bank popping up at some banks that have gone out of business over the years. Horicon Bank is in business. They're thriving, and they're doing it the right way, helping your business grow, meeting your financing requests. You can count on Horicon Bank to help open a first checking or savings account for a loved one. Whatever it means to you, Horicon Bank takes it seriously, and they will help you through the process. Together doing good, that's the vision of Horicon Bank, and with over 100 years of experience, they know what they're doing. Horicon Bank is truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands. Hey, boaters!
It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stocked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. and by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin. So there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit froedtert.com/cancer.
So the latest job report is out. The numbers are slightly worse than expected. So the potential impact is likely multifold. You could see, with a persistently weak jobs report, the Federal Reserve lower interest rates. That could happen as early as September. They're meeting on September 17th. But what if you're looking for a job? That could be a little more challenging during this time. David Cathy is a partner with Unity Search Group, one of the top recruiting companies in the country. He joins us on the line right now. David, appreciate your time here. What are you seeing on the front line and have been seeing over the last several months?
Well, I can certainly say that it has been a slower labor market than we'd all like to see, whether you do what I do from a recruiting standpoint or you're looking for a job. It's been slower, and I think what we could expect to see over the next couple of weeks when the Fed has their meeting in August is it's not a matter of are they going to cut interest rates to help give a boost to the economy. It's by how much are they going to cut it? Are we going to see a quarter of a point? Are we going to see half? It's just a matter of how much.
David, I like to look at things in terms of history. We're about halfway now through the 2020s decade. There's been a lot of big historical moments that have impacted the job market, whether it's the pandemic or anything with the Federal Reserve lately. Where does this decade rank in terms of the turbulence we see in the job market?
That's a great question. I haven't thought of it from that perspective. It's a really unique perspective. I think this decade has been one of the more up and down decades. I feel like through the teens, we stayed relatively consistent. When we entered the teens, we were coming out of the great financial crisis and the mortgage downturn. And when we were looking at the early aughts, we had 9/11 that impacted us. And then in that 08, 09, we had that great financial crisis. So I would put this right behind that. And hopefully we can move past this in the later half of the decade. We can get a little bit more stabilization going. Hopefully this trade, we can conclude this whole trade issues, and that can provide a lot more stability than what we're currently operating under.
David, the school year is just beginning for many, but some will graduate at the semester. Some will graduate in May or June. How would you characterize this time to be a college graduate trying to enter the job market?
Yeah, it is tough. There's no doubt about it. And a couple of the reasons why it's tough is, when you look at college graduates and you take all of these business degrees, whatever that degree is, but it's a bachelor's in business. Well, businesses aren't spending the money to hire people like they have been in the past just due to the economic uncertainty that we're facing right now. Conversely, on the other end, if you're in healthcare, that seems to consistently be the one industry sector that has been performing. And I think, largely it's due to a baby boomer generation that is aging. And, I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago that we spend the most on healthcare, but yet we are one of the sickest countries there is. And so healthcare seems to be a safe place to be.
David Cathy with us on Wisconsin's Midday News. David, a lot of conversation locally here in Wisconsin when it comes to job creation has been around this idea of AI data centers. There's a few big ones coming to our part of the state, notably in Port Washington, also in the Mount Pleasant area. In Port Washington, they're expecting around 3,000 jobs while they build that, and then about 300 long term. But obviously a lot of people have some wary thoughts about, well, does AI mean that it will take jobs, or are there jobs to be had? In your understanding, is kind of the future of job creation with AI kind of somewhere in the middle of any estimates that we're going to hear?
Yeah, I think it's going to do both. It is going to take jobs. And so, if you understand AI, or you're at a point where the fork in the road where it's either do I lean in or back away, I would suggest really lean in, because that train's left the station and it's not returning. So lean in, and you can provide more value, either whether it's to your organization or not your organization, but a different company. On the other hand, there are going to be jobs that aren't going to take, AI is not going to take the place. You talked about building facilities in Port Washington. Well, AI is not going to go out there and build the facilities. So you go from 3,000 employees to 300 long-term employees, and those 3,000 employees get a boost because AI cannot take that job away from them.
What other trends do you notice here in the marketplace, David? You talked about the challenges of being a college graduate. Are there any other demographic information that you can pull that would suggest that the job market is a bit tougher for men or women or different groups in our society?
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing from the latest numbers that have come out for me is the manufacturing industry has been challenging, while the hospitality and leisure industry has been up. And why that's so interesting, if you think about our tariff situation, you would think that a lot of companies are going to begin onshoring those manufacturing operations that they previously put offshore. And we're not seeing that yet. At least it hasn't trickled through the economy. And so to me, that's a little bit of a head scratcher from a manufacturing standpoint. On leisure and hospitality, oftentimes what we have seen is while the economy is stagnating, it's stuck in the mud and there's no movement, we don't see a big spend in that particular sector. And yet we have seen jobs increase in leisure and hospitality. So I find those two really interesting.
David, one of the things that we've seen fluctuate over the course of the last 5 years, I'll keep going back to the pandemic. I remember right around after that time, we were hearing a lot about how the job market was favoring employees because employers needed people to come into the office or just do any jobs, and the employee had the ability to negotiate for working from home. Well, that has since receded. Are we still expecting that more now employer holds the power hand to continue?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is one of those cyclical things that it's employee and then it's employer who holds the power. And right now it is the employer, or it is an employer's market. They can hold back what they're going to do and not worry about not filling that job. And, they can save their budget. And so if you are a person that is looking for a job, you've really got to sink your teeth into networking. Whether you are looking to upgrade your position or you are unemployed, don't just rely on job ads and applying to them, but really push yourself. And it is uncomfortable. Sometimes it is uncomfortable for me, and this is what I do for a living, is to get people jobs. But you have to push yourself to get out there and utilize the network that you've built for however long you've been in the workforce.
David Cathy, partner with Unity Search Group, one of the top recruiting companies in the country. Good advice here on the day the jobs report was out. Not a great report here. We'll see what it means for interest rates a little later this month. David, have a great weekend. Appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Great to have you. It's 1:55 here on WTMJ. We've got 2 o'clock headlines right around the corner.
Hey, remember it's Grandparents' Weekend. It's not as well known as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important. I mean, super important. John Mercure here from WTMJ. Think about those memories. Think about those moments. And then take your mom, dad, and grandparents to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for a free dinner. Enjoy a great steak, the seafood, the roast duck, even the steak and lobster, or maybe pasta or ribs are more your deal. Any entree, your second dinner is free. Desserts, and I love those, even on Grandparents' Weekend, or buy one, get one free. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with 4 garlic cream stuffed shrimp and all the sides for $66.99. That's for 2 dinners. The Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat, one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. And this Saturday only, check this out, 2 prime rib and shrimp dinners for $66.99. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. The fall drive is spectacular. Call, reserve today. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Ridgetop Exteriors and Cornerstone Development. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel travel show. Get a 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact NX Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at nxwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Imagine that unbelievable new deck in your backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 timber tech deck builder. Building new decks and replacing old ones, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax in your own backyard. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, John Mercure here for Experience Wisconsin. Join me every Saturday at 1 o'clock for Experience Wisconsin. We check in with communities across the state for the best and brightest spots around Wisconsin. It's fun. It's cool. It's interesting. I even learn stuff most weeks. This week on Experience Wisconsin, we check out Rhinelander, the Northwoods in the fall. How good is that? And Lake Geneva. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ. Catch it also at WTMJ.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time AccuNet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick AccuNet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
We're sailing back to Pittsburgh and swiping all the booty when we get there.
Yelich taking off, Garcia not paying attention, and Yelich will steal third while the ball was still in the pitcher's hand.
The Brewers face off against the Pirates. Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts tonight at 5:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, September 5th. Your top story, deadline day for a new contract.
I'm Adam Roberts. Mixed reaction to a new jobs report.
Mainly clear, breezy tonight, a low of 47 degrees. Wind is starting to die down a little bit. It was pretty gusty this morning. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cool on Saturday, and a high of 63. It's 59 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 2 o'clock. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, protesting for better pay for police. Milwaukee police have been working without a contract with the city since December of 2022. Milwaukee Police Association President Alexander Ayala has strong words for Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
This is not fair for the officers that put their lives on the line every day to make sure that his citizens are safe, to make sure his city's safe. And he's treating the workers that do the most dangerous job in the city, he's treating them like crap.
Ayala says today is the deadline for the police union to receive a contract offer outside of arbitration.
An ex-Milwaukee cop off to prison for abusing his infant daughter.
A jury found 32-year-old Martinise McDaniel guilty on 2 felony counts of child abuse. A criminal complaint says McDaniel's girlfriend came home one day in January 2023 to find their 2-month-old daughter wasn't breathing. McDaniel told investigators he performed CPR on the child and shook her several times in a panic. But a pediatrician found injuries including bleeding on the brain, hemorrhaging, rib fractures, and bruising consistent with abuse. McDaniel will spend 6 years behind bars. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The White House reacts to this morning's government report that only 22,000 jobs were added to the economy this past month. CBS Willie James Inman.
The president is reacting to this himself, calling on Jerome Powell to lower those interest rates and perhaps trying to blame Jerome Powell for this latest jobs report number that we saw, calling him too late, Powell, and that he should have raised rates a long time ago.
The jobs number was well below the 80,000 jobs expected. Job creation also trending downward in June and July.
Meanwhile, President Trump expected to sign an executive order that would give a new name to the Defense Department, calling it the War Department. ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
It was known as the War Department until 1947, when after the Allied victory in World War II, there was global hope that diplomacy would prevent all future wars. An executive order wouldn't change the legal name of the Defense Department. That would take an act of Congress. But administration officials are expected to begin using the War Department phrasing as a second name. And Pete Hegseth will claim the title Secretary of War, even though he's still legally known as the Secretary of Defense.
Congressman Greg Stube of Florida and Senator Mike Lee of Utah formally introduced the Department of War Restoration Act of 2025 in the House and Senate, respectively.
Nearly a month after historic flooding hit southeastern Wisconsin, residents anxiously waiting for federal aid as a presidential disaster declaration remains pending. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
At the end of the day, whether they're in Milwaukee, in the region, elsewhere in Wisconsin, these are American citizens who need assistance, who need help from their federal government and ultimately from their president, because it's the president that ultimately makes the decision here. So I'm hopeful that'll be heeded by the White House, and the people who need help, who need assistance here, will get it.
Governor Evers requested a disaster declaration from President Trump last week.
News about your money now. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update on the heels of the sluggish jobs report. Numbers for the big three remain in the red this hour. The Dow now down 0.5%. It's up a little bit from where it was before, but still off 247 on the day at 45,374. The NASDAQ down 41 at 21,666, and the S&P 500 off 30 points at 6,473. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at AnnexWealth.com.
Another Brewers reliever hits the injured list. We'll have it in sports. Traffic and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi, and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Bring every detail of your world into clear focus with personalized eye care at Shopko Optical. Vince Vetrano here. The experienced and caring team of eye care professionals at Shopko provide comprehensive eye exams tailored to your unique vision needs. Need glasses, contacts, both? From expert care to the perfect prescription eyewear for your lifestyle. Get everything in one convenient visit. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical. Partners in your eye care.
Fall in Milwaukee, where the air is crisp, the drinks are cold, and the good times are just heating up. Stroll Milwaukee's lakefront and explore its parks as they burst into a kaleidoscope of golds, ambers, and reds. Raise a glass at a beer garden that feels like a neighborhood block party, Milwaukee style. And just as the temps fall, Brewers baseball is turning up the heat. October dreams are made right here. This season, every color, every cheer, every sip, it all comes together in Milwaukee. Craft your perfect getaway at visitmilwaukee.org.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers have a bullpen problem here. Another player hits the injured list. It's Nick Mears on the 15-day IL with back tightness.
They just lost Shelby Miller, who was a really key pickup. They were really happy to get him at the trade deadline, not have to give up a player. He was going to be a key part of navigating these 7th, 8th, 9th innings the rest of the way. Trevor McGill is still working his way back. Now you lose another guy.
That's Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey. McGill, for what it's worth, had a good bullpen session yesterday. He's supposed to do another one this weekend as the Brewers take on the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 5:05. And there is football tonight. The Kansas City Chiefs take on the Chargers in Brazil. Packers will, of course, wait until Sunday afternoon to take on the Lions. Should get an updated injury report somewhere around 4 o'clock.
Checking the roads now, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. It's been a largely incident-free afternoon so far on your Friday. Still just a lone slow spot of 4145 south from Appleton Avenue, down through the construction zone, past Capitol Drive to about Burleigh, and then you're free and clear as you head towards the zoo. Everywhere else is looking excellent right now. Lots of green on the map. No incidents and no other major delays.
A breezy afternoon. The wind is dying down a little bit, however. It was pretty gusty earlier today, topping out at 63 degrees, overnight low 47. 63, partly cloudy on Saturday, 65 and sunny on Sunday. It's 60 and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee, approaching 208.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Adam hanging out with me today until 3 o'clock. Then it's Wisconsin's afternoon news up until Brewers baseball. So just get done with the Phillies here in Milwaukee, and now it's off to Pennsylvania to take on that other team, Pittsburgh. But pretty crazy stretch here for the Brewers, as we've noted. 19 games, 18 days. Then you're playing the Blue Jays and Phillies, two first-place teams, kind of a sense of what October could look like. Oh, by the way, the Brewers are losing relievers. It feels like you just need to get to October somehow. If you just wrap people in bubble wrap, tape their record, move it forward, and advance it. Of course, you're trying to fend off the Cubs here to win the division, which is easier said than done, for sure.
Yeah, the Nick Mears news is not great to hear, especially after Shelby Miller went down, is now done for the year. Oh, and by the way, any arm you pick up on the waiver wire is not going to help you in the playoffs because they had to be on the roster to start the month. So, yeah, I agree. Just let's get through it. Pirates, Rangers coming up. Rangers are playing pretty good, too, lately. But let's just get through September, please.
2:09 in WTMJ.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
From Brewers to Packers. The Packers begin the regular season Sunday afternoon at Lambeau. Sunday's games should not be an issue for those watching on TV around the state, but 13 Wisconsin counties have been assigned home markets of the Vikings or Lions. You can probably guess where these markets are located, near the borders, of course. This has all prompted Republican Congressman Tony Weed and Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin to draft the Go Pack Go Act. It's a bipartisan bill aimed to ensure Wisconsinites are able to watch the Packers, no matter where they live in the state. Right? You could live out in La Crosse or something like that, and all of a sudden you're getting the Vikings is trumping the Packers on your TV.
I will say, for those years before Blair Walsh missed that basically chip shot kick, the number of Vikings fans in La Crosse when I was in college was on the uptick for sure. And then it felt like that kick, and they all went scattering away again.
Well, there's 415,000 people, roughly, in these 13 counties that could be affected or out of luck if they want to watch the Packers on a given weekend. Should not be an issue this weekend because, well, the Packers play the Lions, right?
Right.
And then Monday Night Football is the Vikings and Bears. So you should be home free.
Sure.
Plus 325, it's kind of in that prime slot for Fox. I mean, the bulk of the country is going to get Packers and Lions. However, on November 2nd, the Packers, Vikings, and Lions all play at the same time and on the same network. That could be a little dicey to try and navigate through.
I suppose so. We're going to have Congressman Tony Weed on Wisconsin's Midday News, who's one of the co-authors for this proposal, coming up at 2:37. I want to know, because this isn't the first time that this kind of legislation has been pushed, especially by Senator Tammy Baldwin, who's also on this. So I want to know what's different this time around. What gives this teeth? Number 2, the $1 trillion Musk. He doesn't do anything small. There's the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk, also owner of X, and right now, investors set to approve his newest compensation package.
$1 trillion with a T. If Tesla stock hits a market cap of $2 trillion and reaches 20 million vehicles in production and deliveries within the next decade, that's what Musk wants to get paid. A regulatory filing shows Tesla's board is asking investors to approve the compensation package for the CEO. And that's even though his lawyers are appealing a decision in Delaware that found his previous pay from 2018, $55 billion, was excessive. was improperly granted and must be rescinded. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Yeah, what is the Powerball jackpot coming up? $1.7 billion. And even
like
that is
yeah.
just absolutely insane to think about. These CEO salaries, and you talk about the richest man alive, Elon Musk, they're numbers that people just can't even fathom. And $1 trillion, that's a lot. Now, we are seeing Tesla shares on the rise, in case you are watching that. They're targeting an $8.6 trillion company value within the next 10 years.
Yeah, it all seems reasonable.
Oh, sure.
Why not? Why not? 2:12 and WTMJ. Hey, football season also means the start of the honor flight season. Very special plane is leaving Milwaukee tomorrow. Who will be on it? We'll go through it. The details with Karen Relke, president of the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. She joins us after this.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vetrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home. Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Point taken with Scafidi and Bry.
I never get nervous, even though I get fired up. I can't feel my blood pressure rising. This always raises my blood pressure. At least I can feel it. But for those of us who have sort of lived through this stuff, me as a public official, those who are involved in these shootings, you don't forget about them. They stay with you for the rest of your existence.
Every year, there's some kind of tragedy. People in other places have their lives totally upended. If you're a compassionate person, if you're an empathetic person, you feel for it, but it doesn't replace what it actually feels like to have it impact your life.
Weekdays from 10 to noon on WTMJ.
Well, the wind is starting to die down a little bit. That's the good news. However, the temperatures are still on the cool side here. 60 degrees right now in Milwaukee, 47 your overnight low. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 63, 65 the high on Sunday. Should be plenty of sun. Monday looks pretty good, too, with temperatures topping out about 71 degrees. 60, mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:15. Well, it's a very special time of the year for some very special people. The fall season for Stars and Stripes Honor Flight begins Saturday. Mission number 82. And among the groups of veterans being honored on this flight include those from World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam. Karen Relke is the president of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. Mission number 82. So how many local veterans does that equate to over the years?
We're going to hit 11,000 in November. So we're just under 11,000 vets since 2008 that we've been privileged to honor with the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight.
That is remarkable. And this is mission number 82. So I always like to talk to you, Karen, about what is different, what's intriguing. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight has been around for not quite 20 years, but getting closer to it. So you want to make it fresh, you want to make it interesting, you want to make it memorable. How do you do that for these veterans who are so well deserving of it?
You know, what's fun is the veterans bring their own stories every time. You know, every flight has kind of a unique personality. This particular flight this weekend, we've got a World War II vet on the flight who was at the Battle of the Bulge and has a Purple Heart. So, I mean, a Band of Brothers guy. We're thrilled to meet him. We've got a husband and wife flying together that are both veterans. We've got a pair of brothers. So every mission is different, and every mission has new and fresh stories that really keep the excitement alive.
You know, it's interesting. I was watching the Brewers game the other day and saw the honor they did with all of the World War II vets, including those throwing out the first pitch. And it makes you think because this year, of course, is 80 years since the end of World War II, both in the European and the Pacific fronts. As you do these flights year over year, I know every year is important, but specifically this year, with how many World War II vets that you've flown out to D.C., how critical is this year to commemorate those particular veterans?
It's important on a lot of fronts. Certainly, we don't get very many World War II vets anymore that are signing up. Most of them have either flown already or aren't with us anymore. So we're thrilled to have one with us on Saturday to keep that memory alive. And interestingly, the Korean War and the Vietnam veterans also love to be on a flight with World War II veterans because the World War II vets are really the ones who paved the way for them. And it gives them a chance not only to be thanked for their service, but to thank a World War II vet who made a difference for them.
In my recollection, going on one of these flights years ago, Karen, you talked to some who were kind of grizzled and thought like, it's going to be, I know what to expect. My friends have told me what to expect. And 4 hours later, they're in tears and just, hugging every one of the veterans who are a part of the trip and opening up letters on their way home. And just, if you've not been through it, it's really hard to explain just how special and memorable it really is.
It's true. And what's fascinating for us, and I think I've told you this before too, is that for every flight, different things really impact different veterans. For some, it's seeing their family there when they get home at the end of the day. For some, it's landing in Washington, D.C. and seeing the welcome that we get there. For some, it's visiting a memorial and putting some closure on their experience. So it's really a privilege for us to watch the different veterans heal at different portions of the day. There's something special for everyone throughout the course of the day.
So who is eligible, Karen? I've talked to some who have said, I didn't fight in World War II or Vietnam or the Korean War, so they're not going to want me to come along on that. I said, well, you might be surprised. So who is eligible to be a part of this and to be honored in this way?
Anyone that's served right now, we're honoring anyone who served in June of 75 or earlier, and that now includes the reserves as well. Okay. So June of 75 is kind of the end, what's considered the end of the Vietnam War. So that's who we're flying now, and then in the future we hope to open up to Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and the younger veterans as well. But June of 75 or before right now, they're invited to apply no matter where they served, whether they served in combat or not, and even if they served in the reserves, all service to us is significant, and all of those veterans will find something to really love on a Stars and Stripes honor flight.
And how many flights are in 2025, or at least between now and the end of the year?
We have 3 more. So we've got Saturday, then we have another one on October 4th, and then we have our Flight of Champions sponsored by the Brewers, Packers, and Bucks on November 1st. So that's 3 planes.
That's amazing. The team partnership is so cool. I know so many Brewers and those who work for the Packers have been a part of this, the Bucks as well. It's very special and meaningful for them. You always do such an incredible job. Looking ahead to 2026, you'll have a spring season, I suppose, too, as you can continue the trend here. Are you ever amazed at what you see each and every time you go on one of these flights?
I'm amazed on flight day, and I'm often amazed beforehand and sometimes after. The community really comes together in beautiful and different ways every flight to honor these vets. And just as a quick example, I put out a call on Facebook for teachers to sign up earlier this year if they wanted to have their class adopt a veteran to write mail call letters. And I got 850 teachers from across the country who really wanted their students to write to veterans. And the letters that have been coming in for the Vets on Saturday's flight from everywhere in the country, from students from first graders to high schoolers who just wanted to take a moment to really personally thank a veteran, have been just beautiful. So I can't wait for the veterans to open those up on Saturday.
Karen, I was talking with our Eric Bilstad from the morning show here on WTMJ recently about a project he worked on years ago where young students at a nearby elementary school were interviewing World War II vets over VHS. And some of their family members, the veterans, had said they'd never heard them talk about their experience in that way before. Through Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, what role does something like this play in connecting 2 generations that are so far apart in terms of years, but could learn so much from each other?
It's funny you bring that up because it was actually my daughter that was in that story with Eric that started that group. And that's what got me involved in Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. And truly, the veteran stories are so important. And one of the things that we love to watch is when a veteran flies with his son or his daughter or her grandchild, whoever the guardian is for the veteran, the stories start to come out. And their sons and daughters and grandkids come back from the flight with a renewed appreciation for their loved one who never really talked about their service, possibly. And so the flight opens up the dialogue sometimes between family members so that the vets really feel comfortable sharing and are really able to finally unburden themselves with what they experienced, and the family really gains a new appreciation for their vet.
Karen Relke is the president of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. They take off tomorrow. Veterans and Guardians will begin the check-in at Mitchell Airport's main concourse about 5 in the morning, and the return is somewhere between 8 and 9. I know a couple of planes are going. So if people want to be a part of that welcome home, what time do they need to show up? Where should they be? What should they do to be a part of this?
We would love to have as many people come out as possible. You know, that's really a gift to the veterans if you've given up your Saturday night to go and welcome them back. So the first plane will land around 8-ish. The second plane around 9:30 p.m. We'll have volunteers all over the airport to let you know where to go. And maybe pack a little bit of patience. There's supposed to be some lousy weather in Washington at the end of the day, so we may get a little weather delay here or there. But the veterans, 107 veterans are coming back tomorrow, and we'd love to have everybody at the airport tomorrow night to really give them the welcome home they didn't get the first time.
All right, so you gave Adam and I a coin here before we started our interview. What am I holding in my hand? It's a beautiful coin, Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, and then it said every day is a bonus on the other side, Washington, D.C. Beautiful two-sided coin.
Yep, that's our military challenge coin. It's a military tradition for a job well done, so thank you for having me today. And there is a little bit of a game that goes along with that coin. So if you possess a Stars and Stripes Honor Flight challenge coin and you're at a drinking establishment and you produce your coin and put it on the bar. If you're with someone who also has a coin and they can't produce theirs, they have to buy the drinks.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So Adam,
Perfect.
Forewarned is forearmed.
Good to know. Good to know. No, this is beautiful, but it's also a great reminder just how impactful Honor Flight is. Thank you so much for the work you do in helping honor our veterans. It really is meaningful. It was one of the highlights of my life to be a part of this with Russ Maxwell. He was the person that I was able to kind of cruise around Washington, D.C. with. We walked around and spent a lot of time at the Korean War Memorial, and then he was speechless at that point.
He was a Korean vet, wasn't he?
He was, and then the return home is where he really started to feel it, opening the letters and then seeing everybody on the return home. It was a really impactful day.
Well, we appreciate that you served him in that way, Greg. The Guardians are a big deal on Honor Flight Day and really can make or break the veteran experience. So we're thrilled to have you along.
Well, have a great day tomorrow. Have a great rest of the season, and we'll check in again soon.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, Karen Relke, president of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. We do have news coming up here in just a few minutes here on WTMJ. Reminder that the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited. Wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe to Wisconsin's Midday News.
Hey, remember it's Grandparents' Weekend. It's not as well known as Mother's or Father's Day, but just as important. I mean, super important. John Mercure here from WTMJ. Think about those memories. Think about those moments. And then take your mom, dad, and grandparents to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for a free dinner. Enjoy a great steak, the seafood, the roast duck, even the steak and lobster, or maybe pasta or ribs are more your deal. Any entree, your second dinner is free. Desserts, and I love those, even on Grandparents' Weekend, or buy one, get one free. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib with 4 garlic cream stuffed shrimp and all the sides for $66.99. That's for 2 dinners. The Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat, one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. And this Saturday only, check this out, 2 prime rib and shrimp dinners for $66.99. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. The fall drive is spectacular. Call, reserve today, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
We see you out there building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like Hillman Grade 2 nuts, bolts, and washers, $2.49 per pound. Save $90 on an Edsel welded storage rack. $40 off a DeWalt 6-gallon wet dry vac, $79.99. Plus, Fall Chick Days start Friday, September 5th with freshly hatched layer chicks and meat birds. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield, and I just got this message from my team there they wanted to share. With the recent flooding in Milwaukee, so many in our community are dealing with unexpected damage to their homes. At Hunt's Flooring, we want our neighbors to know they are not alone. We're here to help. From emergency flooring removals to replacing water-damaged carpet, hardwood, or vinyl, our team is ready to guide homeowners through every step, from cleanup to new installation. Visit Hunt's Flooring on Highway 100 in Greenfield or get started now at huntsflooring.com.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzek households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car is not one of them. The national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adam.com.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Vitrano.
A battle in court scheduled on President Trump's attempt to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook.
Eric Bilstad.
Overseas, Israeli officials say they've recovered the bodies of 2 people who had been taken hostage by Hamas.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
Northbound on 41, we've got some backups from Mayfair Road, pretty much all the way up towards Hampton.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, September 5th. Your top story, tactics to combat street takeover.
I'm Adam Roberts, making progress on lead cleanup in Milwaukee schools.
Clear and breezy tonight, low of 47. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cool on Saturday with a high of 63. Sun returns on Sunday with a high of 65. 61 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 2:30.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. New York is joining several states making vaccines more available. Governor Kathy Hochul signs an executive order to allow pharmacies to administer COVID shots without a prescription.
An executive order declaring a disaster in the state of New York due to federal actions related to vaccine access.
A second month in a row, weaker than expected monthly jobs report has the White House blaming Labor Department statistics experts. ABC's Mike Dubusky.
Employers added just 22,000 jobs last month, according to the latest report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Healthcare jobs rose slightly, but were offset by job losses in mining, oil and gas, and the federal government. The unemployment rate, meanwhile, is up slightly for August, now standing at 4.3%.
Wall Street indexes have been lower today. What federal immigration police call their biggest ever raid rounded up at least 450 workers at a Hyundai battery plant in Georgia. Most were Koreans. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:31.
Addressing street takeovers in the city of Milwaukee.
Chief Norman said directed patrol missions are one of several tools used to respond, but officers must also pivot
pivot to incidents that threaten life and safety. Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman told WTMJ.
When we have loss of life, then I pivot. And these are directions that come from me. When we are able to, again, put back those resources for the street takeovers, that is from a directed patrol mission, but that is only one tool that's being used.
Chief Norman said officers will keep responding to takeovers, making arrests and towing vehicles if needed.
We will not tolerate this.
Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Multiple people injured after a shooting earlier this morning in Sheboygan, that including a 2-year-old child. Police responding near Business Drive in Wilson this morning. Flight for Life transported the 2-year-old who appeared to be shot in the upper armpit area. 2 other people also injured in the shooting. A suspect now in custody and a gun has been recovered.
Finally cleared from lead. Milwaukee Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Brenda Castellius confirms all 50 MPS schools built before 1950 that serve elementary students are cleared of lead risks. Now the district will focus on the 52 schools built between 1950 and 1978. These buildings are anticipated to have lower lead risks because of decreased use of lead-based paint. The work will happen outside of school hours with the goal of completion by December of this year.
While questioning continues amid turmoil at the Centers for Disease Control leadership positions, here in Milwaukee County, leaders are up in arms over the ongoing turmoil.
Milwaukee Health Commissioner Dr. Michael Totorias says shakeups in leadership at the Centers for Disease Control have confused what recommendations people should trust.
The current guidance from the CDC around the COVID vaccine is creating some confusion and potentially might discourage people from getting the COVID shot.
Dr. Totorias says the City Health Department will continue to recommend the use of vaccines that are effective in ensuring public health.
We are working again with our national partners and our state to ensure that we can provide vaccines that are safe and effective to keep people healthy and safe.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
And the Milwaukee Brewers begin a 3-game series with the Pirates tonight. During that series with the Philadelphia Phillies, World War II veterans were honored at American Family Field.
Where I served overseas, Guam, Saipan, Tinian, during World War II.
More than 30 World War II veterans from the Milwaukee area were honored at the home game against the Phillies Thursday. 100-year-old World War II vet Burley Brelenthien threw the ceremonial first pitch. He tells WTMJ.
A complete honor. I was amazed when they selected me. And I really had doubts how far I could throw that darn ball.
The recognition marks the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Elizabeth Linton, WTMJ News.
Heard Greg mention it. Brewers head out to Pittsburgh. They'll have a few less arms on the road trip as well. Traffic and weather also on the way next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 2:34.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Got an old boat, a new boat in between. Kendor Marine. Upholstery and parts, hard to find things. Kendor Marine. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Everything you need but the water. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Like a boat-loving kid in a candy store. Kendor Marine. If you have a question, we have the expertise at Kendor Marine. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water.
Easy to find at 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin or at kendormarine.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Another Brewers reliever hits The injured list, it's Nick Mears on the 15-day IL with a back issue.
They just lost Shelby Miller, who was a really key pickup. They were really happy to get him at the trade deadline, not have to give up a player. He was going to be a key part of navigating these 7th, 8th, 9th innings the rest of the way. Trevor McGill is still working his way back. Now you lose another guy.
Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey. Brewers take on the Pirates tonight. Coverage begins at 5:05. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur looking to turn Micah Parsons loose against the quarterback Sunday afternoon when the Packers take on the Lions.
He's got an extremely high football IQ. I don't think he'll have any issues, so you're pretty specific with what you're going to ask him to do. I don't foresee that being a problem. I think he's got a high capacity and really smart guy.
Packers acquired Parsons in a trade with the Cowboys last week, and there's some NFL football tonight with the Chiefs taking on the Chargers from Brazil.
To the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. We are starting to see some volume pick up as people may be starting to hit the road and get out of work early right now. 4145 north and south between Highway 100 and Appleton Avenue usually is heavy throughout most of the day. We're really starting to see that volume kick up right now, about an extra 5 either direction between Highway Q and the Zoo right now. Volume heavy on 94 heading out of downtown, about 13th Street over to Mitchell Boulevard, and southbound on 43 from Capitol Drive down past Center Street. Going to be a touch slow as you work your way towards downtown.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
Every Monday and Thursday, buy one pizza, get a second pizza absolutely free at the Mineshaft Family Restaurant in downtown Hartford. Google the Mineshaft today.
63-year high today, breezy, cloudy, overnight low 47 degrees. Tomorrow's high 63, partly cloudy skies. Looks like a nice Sunday on tap with a high of 65 degrees. Should be a good tailgating day up in Green Bay. 61 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 2:38. Well, if you're going to the game, you won't have any problem seeing the game, provided you're in the stadium. And I'm sure all the different bars and locations around the stadium will have the game on for those who aren't able to get into Lambeau Field. But you might have some issues somewhere in some places of the state watching Packers football this year. That is because, Adam, 13 Wisconsin counties have been assigned home markets for the Vikings or Lions.
Now, that would be a problem if you're in America's Dairyland, home of the Green Bay Packers for sure, especially if you are a Packer fan.
Well, this truth has prompted Republican Congressman Tony Weed and Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin to draft the Go Pack Go Act. Tony Weed joins us on the line right now. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Greg and Adams. Great to be here on WTMJ.
Yeah, glad you could join us today. So this is what it takes to get bipartisan support, right? It's Packers football potentially not being shown in portions of the state.
You know, in a world where there is a political divide and, you know, we all certainly fight for what we believe in, it is great to work with Senator Baldwin. You know, we may not agree on much of anything, but, you know, nothing like the Green Bay Packers to bring us together, to bring people together, and they've been doing that for a long time. And this is just, you know, common sense legislation. Happy to work with her on it, really to allow for people to watch the Packers. I mean, who would have thought? You know, people should not have to endure watching the Vikings or Lions play on Sunday.
It's tough stuff for sure, especially given some of their records, although the Lions kind of took it to us a bit last year. You know, as Congressman, this is not the first time this legislation has been introduced. Senator Baldwin, in different iterations going back to, I think, 2017, has authored this. Now you're co-sponsoring on with her. What version of this bill carries a little bit more teeth and could maybe actually get this thing from proposal to actual signage?
Well, it is something that's been introduced before, and I have the great pleasure of representing in our home district, in the Wisconsin's 8th Congressional District, the Green Bay Packers, and meeting with them. This is something that they're very interested in and want to find out a resolution. There's a lot of powers that be that decide, you know, the local news and things like that on the western part of the state, and then also up on the northern part of the state. And so I just think it's time that we bring this to front and center, and we actually try to get this thing solved. And I'm going to go to work on it. I think it's important. Again, people should be able to watch the Packers in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think it's an important distinction here, Congressman, that this is not just kind of a fun thing and it's opening weekend of the NFL and we want to get this out there. No, there really is something behind this, that it should be easier for people to watch the teams that play in their home state. Won't be an issue here this weekend because the Packers are playing the Lions, and the Vikings and Bears play on Monday Night Football. But there is a time in November where the Packers, Vikings, and Lions all play at the same time and on the same network, and that's going to make things complicated.
It is, and in this day and age, it's I'm new to being in Congress. I came from the private sector. That's what we ran our own business for almost 30 years. So it was always about common sense, finding solutions to problems day in and day out. And I think this is something that does need to get solved. I mean, we struggle with that, whether that's the Milwaukee Brewers trying to catch that, in other sports as well. The NFL is certainly the most popular sport. It is Wisconsin's team. And, again, that's why I just think it's so important that the 415,000 people that can't watch the Packers on a given Sunday, that we give them that access. And it's going to be a tough challenge, but again, I think there's something we need to do something about it.
So where does it go from here? You mentioned it's going to be a tough challenge. What's the road ahead for this bill?
Well, it has to do too, again, with Nielsen and with the way they set up the boundaries for, like I said, even local news coverage and so forth. So we present the legislation. Hopefully, we get co-sponsors. Going to work on getting them and ultimately getting it to the floor would be the ideal. Senator Baldwin's going to also try from the Senate side and see what she can do there. But ultimately, it's a matter of just getting out there, communicating, and again, hopefully we can get something to the floor and get some resolution to it. I know other states are also working on similar types of situations.
Your fellow Congressman Tom Tiffany obviously represents a large portion of the northern section of the state where a lot of these counties impacted reside. Is he on board as well?
Yes, he definitely is. Tom is a huge Packer fan. And like you said, there's a lot of people that have to watch Lions up there in that northern part. And then even on the western part, he has some areas too where they have to watch the Vikings. And I think it is have to. I don't know why anybody would want to watch the Vikings or the Lions, right?
It's a good way to put it. Well, that's going to be Monday Night Football. So it's, watch reruns of Monk or maybe Alf, or you can watch Monday Night Football at the Lions and Bears. Hey, somebody's got to lose out of that game.
That's right. Yeah, and that's fine. That's just fine with us.
Well, we're looking forward to the weekend of football here in Packers season, getting off and running. Something right about it starting at Lambeau Field, which I think is great. Congressman Tony Weed joining us here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Appreciate your time, Congressman. Have a great weekend.
All right, thank you. You guys too. Go Pack.
Yeah, you bet. 2:44 here on WTMJ. Yeah, I think it's worth noting that sometimes things like this are window dressing. No action is going to be taken on this at all, but they're trying. They're going to try and push this through. But it does bring to light, I think, some of the archaic policies and the archaic nature of sports broadcast rights and who gets what and blackout restrictions. It's 2025, for goodness sake. That stuff should not exist. I mean, this Communications Act goes back to 1934, for goodness sake.
Sure. You know what's fascinated me is the rise in YouTubers over the year, especially the last few years, I've noticed, that will commentate. You think of like a Tom Grossi, big Packers guy, will always have his YouTube channel following along. Just this year, for the first time, YouTube has partnered with the NFL to allow watch-alongs, and I say allow because it was always this tiptoe dance around new ways of presenting the league that they're now finally getting on top of and actually allowing to happen. It's just fascinating it took this long, given that YouTube's been around for 20 years.
Yeah, tonight's game is on YouTube TV, I think, as a matter of fact. 2:45 here on WTMJ. Some stories from off the beaten path. Next.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents, also standing up for victims to take the burden off their shoulders. Greg Matzek here, reminding you if you've been hurt in an accident, you make a simple phone call to Gruber. They have been around for decades, 40 years. How about that? Helping serve people in the state of Wisconsin, also finding ways to give back to the community, and they do it in so many different ways throughout the year, right here in the state of Wisconsin, giving back and helping those injured in accidents. It's a family-run business with a powerful team. They'll take on the insurance companies for you, one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. Locally owned, nationally recognized. Visit gruber-law.com. Learn more about the firm, what they can do for you, and how they give back to the community. Call 414-276-6666.
If you've ever worried about your heart, If you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
Hey, surprise! Colders is extending their Labor Day sale for one more week. WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you missed out over Labor Day weekend, now's your chance to shop their guaranteed best deals and extra savings store-wide. Save big on everything you need for your home. Furnitures, appliances, mattresses. Only for a limited time at Colders. Save 60% on furnitures and mattresses, then take an additional 10% off. Wow. Use code WEEKEND10 at checkout in-store or online to save an extra 10% on sofas, sectionals, dining tables, bedroom sets, mattresses, and more. Shopping for appliances? For a limited time, only during Colders' extended Labor Day weekend sale, save an extra 5% on kitchen and laundry appliances from all your favorite brands. Use code WEEKEND5 at checkout. Discover Colders' better selection, better experience, best value guaranteed during the extended Labor Day weekend sale before it's gone. Check it out at one of their 4 convenient locations or shop online at Colders.com.
Step up to quality furniture. Get more for your money at Colders.
Hope you like the 40s. They're on the way again for the evening tonight, down to 47 for the low, 61 and 46 the low on Saturday. Going to be more sun also. Going to be a nice looking weekend. Great Packer weather coming up on Sunday, 62 the high. Warming back up to the 68 mark for your Monday. Next rain chance coming in on Tuesday with a high close to 70. 61, mostly cloudy with some peaks of sun in Milwaukee at 249.
It's Friday, which means it's time for Stories of the Strange on Wisconsin's Midday News.
All right, so I'm always up for an interesting collaboration.
Me too.
Interesting collaborations. And we see these in the food space for so many years now, but they've started to grow in popularity.
Sure.
Interesting collaborations with food. Well, Snickers and Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen have teamed up for a rather saucy NFL promotion here. Ooh. Snickers, of course, the official chocolate of the NFL. Can't get through a TV broadcast of an NFL game without seeing a lot of Snickers on your face.
Yep, that's how I know I'm not me when I'm hungry.
Okay, fair enough. Snickers does satisfy. Yes, it does. Snickers also wants to be a topping on your hot dog, or maybe your burger, or maybe your barbecued chicken. That's right. Snickers, the official chocolate sponsor of the NFL, has teamed up with Bills quarterback Josh Allen to bring a bold game day flavor to you and your friends. When hunger strikes, maybe grab a Snickers or grab one of the very popular, soon-to-be popular, Snickers-inspired barbecue sauces.
What?
Available in caramel buffalo, peanut teriyaki, and chocolate barbecue flavors. Satisfy your halftime hunger with Snickers sauces.
Okay, you were losing me, but peanut teriyaki, hold the phone. That actually sounds like it could be pretty good on a burger.
That does sound actually somewhat intriguing. The caramel buffalo combines the smooth caramel found in every Snickers bar with classic buffalo heat, a very unique sweet and spicy combination. The peanut teriyaki that you so fondly speak of, Adam, features real Snickers peanuts together with notes of soy and garlic for a flavor-packed punch. And then the chocolate barbecue, sweet and smoky flavors come together. Chocolate barbecue sauce uses Snickers chocolate recipe for an unexpected and saucy game day edition. So beginning September 7th, fans can visit snickers.com/sauces for their chance to score these limited edition Snickers sauces with the purchase of a pack of Josh Allen Snickers minis. You know, they get the mini candy bars, and they get a chance to purchase the sauce.
You know, I think the NFL needs to catch up with baseball a bit. It seems like every year baseball is announcing some wacky and crazy new things at their concession stand. I think, was it the green corn dog at Seattle Mariners games earlier this year that got everyone going, like, what is that? The NFL's a little behind. I think the Packers only this year have the Bracho was their big new unveiling. So they got to pick up the pace a little bit, I think, in football.
Yeah, well, this is all online stuff, right? I don't think this is at the park, at Orchard Park, where they played. The Snickers are just Josh Allen is the man behind it. Snickers Minis, buy them online, get a chance to purchase the sauces, and put it on your wings.
All right, let's stick with the food theme. You talk about collaboration. Let's collab on some food-themed stories of the strange today, Greg. We head to Huron Peak, Colorado.
Hello.
Appreciate that. Where we find, among other things, what do you expect to see when you climb a mountain if you're a hiker in Colorado? A lot of snow, some rocks, beautiful vista views of the Rocky Mountains. Perhaps a goat or 2 or 10 even. What you probably aren't expecting to find is what you'll see if you text WATCH right now to 855-616-1620, where you'll find the man only known as, in those parts of Colorado, Mr. Legend Space Dairy. That's all we know about this man, who popped up on the top of Huron Peak randomly over Labor Day weekend. Was spotted by climbers at the peak of Huron Peak, 14,000 plus feet above sea level, and no one has any clue who this man is, carrying more than 60 pounds of ice cream and dry ice randomly to the top of this one mountain in Colorado and handing it out to fellow hikers who had reached the peak. One hiker telling the Associated Press, quote, "That ice cream is just kind of what I wanted after reaching the summit." I mean, I guess I don't know. Once you climb 14,000 feet, your head's probably spinning a little bit. The air's probably thin. You look over, you see a man dressed like an ice cream cone handing you a Klondike bar. Sure, I guess, yeah, I'll take that one and maybe a couple more.
I'd wonder if I was hallucinating at that point.
Well, it is Colorado, so you never know.
2:53 on WTMJ. We'll wrap up the program with some final thoughts after this.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'm gonna put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? I'm gonna give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh my God.
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There we go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Fall is a great time to pull up to Potawatomi and explore all that's new at Potawatomi Casino Hotel and shoot your shot this September for big wins in the Sweet Ticket to September contest. It's going on right now. WTMJ's Greg Matzek here. All you got to do is play with your rewards card for entries. Drawings every Thursday. Slam dunk prizes like cash are available for you. So are reward play and tickets to see the Bucks coming up this fall and winter. It's Sweet Ticket September. Are you ready? It's only at Potawatomi. Hope to see you at the Sportsbook sometime soon. In fact, I'll be there on Monday night with Gary Ellerson on ESPN Milwaukee with our Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday every Monday. During the course of the football season, we'll have a 2-hour recap show here from 6 to 8. Got to join us down at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hope to see you there. No better place to watch sports in the state of Wisconsin than at Potawatomi.
We see you out there building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like $20 off a 15-piece Milwaukee Combo Wrench Kit. Your choice of KT Auto Darkening Welding Helmets, $69.99. Assorted MD brand weather stripping, 20% off. Plus, Fall Chick Days start Friday, September 5th with freshly hatched layer chicks and meat birds. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Bring every detail of your world into clear focus with personalized eye care at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. The experienced and caring team of eye care professionals at Shopko provide comprehensive eye exams tailored to your unique vision needs. Need glasses, contacts, both? From expert care to the perfect prescription eyewear for your lifestyle. Get everything in one convenient visit. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical. Partners in your eye care.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Well, that about wraps up a Friday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News on WTMJ. I'll be back on Monday with Telly Hughes. Jessica joins the program back again on Tuesday, enjoying some time off. A great fall weekend here. We're starting to get to that overlap time of baseball hurtling toward the postseason, football getting up and running. Got a game in Madison tomorrow, a game in Green Bay on Sunday. The Brewers play tonight, so you get that overlap where It's the excitement at the start of a season, and a team in the Brewers that's currently in first place, trying to hold on to first place. Every game is meaningful as you gear up for that stretch drive here toward the month of October. Well, it's a great time to be a Wisconsin sports fan.
Yeah, and don't look now, but basketball not too far around the corner either. We'll have the preseason for the Bucks coming up later on. I believe it starts this month or early October.
I think it's like a month from today almost.
Yeah.
First preseason game or broadcast at very early October typically. We start to unwrap that package as well.
Yeah, it is a fantastic time if you are a fan of sports across the board.
Looking forward to it. Adam, appreciate your time here joining us today. If you've missed any bit of our program, check out the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast built by Siding Unlimited, truly siding and a whole lot more. Full episodes, hour by hour, guest by guest, wherever you get your podcast, subscribe, and you can take us with you wherever you go. Looks like a pretty cool evening here for Friday Night Lights. 63 your high today. Going to be chilly when the sun goes down. 47 your overnight low. Tomorrow the sun returns, well, mildly with a high of 63. Sun returns in more full force on Sunday with a high of 65, back into the 70s for Monday. Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John and Julia coming up next here on WTMJ.
You have never been to an all-inclusive resort? Well, neither have I. Hi, it's WTMJ's